Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live on a sensational Saturday night. As always, Saturday night live streams cooking here at the channel. It's going to be a fun one as we got a jam-packed Collision and Rampage tonight. We're going to get into all of it, so make sure you get in that chat. Click all those buttons below. Give a little bit of love. Don't forget that thumbs up and the subscribe button. But it's a Saturday night. It's going to be a fun one. Welcome to the Rossin for Life Network. Let's go! Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. It is another live stream. And like I said, we are the Rossin for Life Network, live and back at it again. Happy weekend to everybody out there. I hope you are happy, healthy, and safe. Hope everyone is doing well. And we are very optimistic, or at least trying to be, for this Saturday night as we got a jam-packed night of Collision and Rampage. We're going to be all the reaction to all the action tonight. It's going to be a fun one. We'll see. But without further ado, I am Mr. Everynight KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight KJ White. I am Big Nick, and yes, live from the Wrestling for Life Network, it's Saturday night.
Saturday.
But yeah, how are you feeling going into this stuff? We had a week off from Collision, and now we've come back, and again, Rampage is the show without a home. Of it just keeps floating around out there. Still exists, but has no sedentary home. It's the foster children of AEW.
Here's the thing. Rampage has been moving around. We got a 3-hour Dynamite. We've had a couple 3-hour Collisions. If I was Tony Khan, I would be doing everything I could to capitalize on this. And I would be pitching as like, it's one big show. It's one big giant show. Fuck Battle of the Belts. Make this a show that matters. Make it, must-see TV. Stack these special ones because we know you're going to automatically have a drop-off because you've moved. But at the end of the day, I think they're not doing enough. Like, it's just another Rampage. Is it a
Dynamite Rampage, or do you do 3 hours of Dynamite? Because, again,
I would treat it
like... you kind of lose your fan base of, you're doing the same thing as Monday Night Raw. We came here to be an alternative, and you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I know there's some AEW fans out there that have been very much like, we could totally do a 3-hour show. Look at all the talent we have. If Tony just
These are the same people who only watch Dynamite and aren't watching Collision and aren't watching Rampage. That's why the fucking numbers are so bad.
Facts. So, yeah, I think there's a missed opportunity.
You call them on their bluff.
Yeah, but they won't do it. Again, I would be selling it as something bigger than your typical, because you're not going to always do this. You're not always going to be in the playoffs. So I think while you're in the playoffs and you're getting bounced around, try and make something out of it.
Does he do this because he knows the drop-off? And while the drop-off was on Rampage, it wasn't a Dynamite. Because if Dynamite had the numbers that Rampage ever put up, respectfully, that's a much harder bargaining agreement there. That's really something that a network, if you were in negotiation deals, which they currently are, could hold over your head of, well, you said you're going to do this, and your quarter hours have been this. So,
yeah, and I saw a report today saying that there was some issues with the negotiations between, now I don't know how factual it is. I haven't fact-checked this at all. But I'm trying to remember. But yeah, essentially that, the negotiations might not be as peachy key as people think they are. That, due to analytics, they might be coming in low and definitely waiting for this all to come to an end before it gets going again.
And Tony's an analytics guy. That's literally his position on the fucking Jaguars here. And the analytics ain't working, my guy. Now, you talked about it being a 3-hour show if you combine it, and how it's kind of fallen into that. Do you think that they should move Collision off of a Saturday to a Thursday, anything like that, of move that around, play with that game, because Saturday, especially during the summertime, during playoffs, all of that, you want to keep crying wolf without viewership. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Well, I mean, the problem is going back-to-back nights, Wednesday, Thursday. That's a tough shot. If you were ballsy, maybe you go Tuesday, Thursday, but that would create a whole nother can of worms, which would be fun. But yeah, no, I don't know if I like the idea of them going Wednesday, Thursday. And you know what? When they launched Collision, and we talked about it, they already had Rampage, which nobody cared about. Even some of the diehardest of diehards out there don't care about Rampage. And then you look at Collision. Our sentiment back then was that just make Dynamite good. When Dynamite's cooking and rolling and dialed in, then do Collision. But
Collision was also even supposed to be the alternative of the alternative, because initially it was supposed to be the Phillip Brooks show.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's become Dynamite Light.
Yeah, when Phil got fired, or quit or whatever, I think that was a really big opportunity for them to stay the course without him. Like, still have that separate show with different talent, with the Serena Deebs and the Malachi Blacks and the Rusevs of the world. I thought you had a real great opportunity to make Collision feel different. And the minute Phil got fired, we just got an influx of the same old usual stuff, but not even their top end stuff. They give us their mid stuff, which hurts sometimes.
Yeah, but it does Collision to you at least still have that hint of, it feels more like this is fight night versus, Wednesday night theater.
Truthfully, Saturdays, like, realistically, there is no excitement. Like, Wednesdays, there's always at least the level of like, well, we'll see what happens. Saturdays has no mystique to me, no aura. Like, I'm not sitting there today going like, I can't wait for Collision tonight. It's fizzled. Even now, like, whatever they have presented, we've missed some Saturdays and such, but I mean, it hasn't been strong. It hasn't been interesting.
You're not excited for a Dynamite Kid out there taking on Dax, homegrown Canadian boy and all of that?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, for sure. We'll see how this match goes. And yeah, it's just another one of those one-off matches. Randomly, like, we see all this beef between between House of Black and Edge, and then randomly Kyle O'Reilly's
got to do some shit.
I want a belt, so now he's in the belt. It's doesn't make any sense.
Which is most of that company. And I agree with Wrestling Superior, though, of saying it's a dead brand. Like, it started off really great. It started off as this super alternative, which is weird to have an alternative to an alternative, but it became its own unique thing. And then the second we got the victory lap in Collision or on Collision, then the tides had turned.
The tides were turned. So 74% of people said they are excited for tonight. 24%.
Yes, by the way, we do have a poll when you click on.
So we're gonna play with the polls a little bit. Pause.
You can stuff them ballots. What?
Right, Kevin? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome back, sir. Nevsky, good to see you. Joe, good to see you. I don't know about anyone else, but the internet and such has been real wonky for about 24 hours now. Going on 24 hours. So I know a lot of talk about why, but it's been a weird couple days. Even right now, the stream is lagging for me. So I hope AEW will be good.
Well, and I like Nevsky, though, saying real quick of how he was saying, if it weren't for Wrestling for Life, I would completely forget about Collision.
You're welcome, Tony Khan.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Looking forward to Dax Harwood versus the Dynamite Kid, the nephew of the Dynamite Kid, Damien. Should be an interesting match. Should be a good one. I imagine that Dax is going to go over, but you never know.
That's a bold statement to say that's going to be an interesting one. That's a bold statement, God.
Oh, you think it won't? Like, you're like,
I don't know much about the kid.
When I say, like, when it's like that old oh, interesting. It's when you really don't give a shit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Can you imagine Big Bill and Jericho go after and win AEW tag titles? I'm gonna finish that sentence for Rocco.
Well, and can we kick Ricky Starks further out the door? I think at this point, that would 100% be, because I've already seen the reports of people saying, "Oh, there's no plans to put them back together." So they know he's gone. He's gone.
Jericho hijacked Bill. Jericho again becomes I know he thinks it's funny, but he is the vortex. He is a black hole. He is the leech. He is the fucking pawn sucker, bottom dweller, shit eating, fucking scum of the earth, son of a bitch that just continually fucks everyone around him inappropriately.
The learning tree is more of the leeching tree. He's a fucking pariah instead of a perennial talent here.
Yeah. Fuck. But yeah, I feel bad for Ricky Starks. They should have stayed champions. Sting did not,
because he's gonna make fucking a shit ton of money and actually get pushed like he should have been.
Fact. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So fair enough. But at the end of the day, man, the AEW could use more talent like Ricky Starks, somebody with charisma, someone with a personality, but they just keep missing the boat and they keep booking their friends and the nepotism is killing this company. And I've said it a million times. People talk about Tony's booking. People talk about a lot of things that are wrong with AEW. Problem one is the favoritism, the nepotism, the blinders to those who are closest to you. And you book the wrong people. You put the wrong people in the wrong places.
Ignorance is bliss. And Tony seems pretty blissful if I've ever seen a human being that could define blissful. Because, yeah, it's... If you sat there and had Chris Jericho or Ricky Starks, if you're starting your company today and everything like that, and those are your two options that you could have under contract, you got to choose one and lose the other. I'm taking Ricky Starks 10 times out of 10. Yeah. 11 times out of 10, actually.
Yeah. No, absolutely. What's up, Eric? We're about 1 minute away from the start of showtime, folks. We will sync up and let you know where we are. Jake, Good to see Chambers, good to see Samoan Watchman, good to see I don't watch that show, but I'm here to support the Bearded Bros. That is awesome. As I said, tune into us. The wrestling might suck. We never do. We're going to be here for the next 3 hours, give or take. So at nothing else, it's a Saturday night. We're feeling all kinds of good, and it's going to be a fun stream, whether you like it or not.
I appreciate it there, Oos. But yeah, and two, obviously I'm not on Wednesdays. You are, so we haven't. There's a lot of AEW topics that I know are going to get brought up tonight that we haven't been able to talk about yet, because we did the court, we did SmackDown, all of that.
Right. I really believe the Collision should move to a different time slot because they're going to be hurting because of the playoffs, and just wait until college football starts.
But they don't. That's the thing, is it doesn't sneak up on you. Like, you know that in advance, motherfuckers.
I just think they're in a pickle. Saturday nights is not great at all, especially with all the PLEs that are Saturday nights. I don't love it. Again, it wouldn't have been my choice, but Tony's Tony, and
Tony CM Punk do Tony things.
When CM Punk came back, he kind of we should sell a lot of tickets though because people are looking to go out on the weekend. That was the trade-off. That one's not true though. But I'm getting the aggressive channel warning.
I have
Rampage events.
I have Big Bang Theory. I was going to say I have Sheldon talking to whatever character, but that would require that I actually watch Big Bang Theory. So I didn't know who's who.
Okay, well, I'm getting the start of the show, so let me know when you get that, when the show comes on to your TV. All right, now I got the aerial view of the ramp. Good to see you.
I got that right now, as we've got Danielson coming out.
There we go. There we go.
From Rogers Center in Vancouver, Canada.
There you go. Crazy hockey game out west last night. That's what I'm saying. So Chambers agreeing. What's up, Smile Mark? How you doing? Feeling all types of painted pride there in that avatar, buddy. So we're gonna get Danielson and Castagnoli, which is weird because you could have done Danielson and Eddie teaming up and kind of sell us on that there's a little bit of tension between them still, even though they're on Team AEW. But no, we get a random.
Well, how do we feel By the way, shout out Vancouver because they got the Chelsea Green rub the other night there when they were taking on Edmonton. For those who didn't see, Chelsea Green showed up on the big Titantron and was go Vancouver. But how do you feel about Team AW as a whole, even? Because I feel like with all of this story, we're burning through chapters. We are fucking J.R.R. Tolkien used to actually fucking draw out stories and everything like that. This is just, we're burning through chapters as fast as we can. Of Tony's been injured. Tony's got a fucking team of a fucking Avenger assembled. Tony, they're hijacking the show. We're burning through months of story in weeks.
Well, you see what's happening, and again, people are going to get mad at me when I make this comparison, but you see what's happening with the bloodline. Oh, here comes Tama. Well, first we get, the Solo kind of turnover. Then Solo has a friend, and then Solo's friend has a friend. Here comes Tonga. We're still waiting on, you're building the story. You're building the story. Every layers. This is just, oh, here they are. And again, I wish there was more of a personal, heated reason between the combatants, other than Tony really likes these two guys, so they're going to represent AEW. There's not enough enough legit hatred between the two groups outside of what.
And that's the thing, is even though, like we've said, there's not layers, there's not depth to any of this story. This is literally only there. The biggest depth to this is that FTR and the Young Bucks have consistently had feuds and all of that.
Yeah.
Outside of this, there is no depth of character. There is no depth of storytelling. They seem out their depth with trying to pull this off this fast. If you have to do this fast, then you didn't plan this out. You had no long game.
No, this was never planned
with this.
We said that from the beginning. This bullshit about
this is an excuse for showing the footage.
Right? Oh, absolutely. But we are kicking off with Top Flight taking on Danielson and Claudio. Like I said, Nick, I would have put Danielson and Kingston in this match. Just to, because they've been such heated rivals.
But I understand with that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm asking, do you think that they should have even been on Team AW? I don't even like the whole Team AW as it is right now.
Well, no, I don't like it. I don't like it because I thought maybe Hangman would slide in there because there's a connection. If
you built it out, yes.
Now, the argument with Danielson is that, Tony went on the record of saying, if anything ever happened to me, Danielson gets the company. So he's the golden boy. Kingston's a bit of a random shout. Some people said, well, he hates the Bucks. I'm like, yeah, but
he hates everyone.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, to me, you could have built to this of the Bucks get beat down and you have a couple of weeks. FTR gets beat down. You have a couple of weeks to where the Bucks are just running the fucking show. They take it over. If you want to do this as cosplay NWO, like they've kind of been doing, then fucking run with it and actually give it some legs. And then you could have had, you mentioned Hangman. I think that would have been a huge moment, and it keeps him away from Swerve.
What I think is going to happen?
Well, I'm going to come back and bring Hangman into this. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Do you know what I think is going to happen?
What?
I think that Hangman is going to be the reason why they win at Double or Nothing. He's going to join the Elite. That's a guess. What's up, Steve G?
That's painful. Sorry, click through the comments because that's painful.
Wrestle Soup. The brand is dead. Matt, good to see you. Welcome back. I wish that would work. There we go. Jake, gotcha. Boston, always a pleasure, sir. Chambers, learning tree like Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So what channel is Collision on? I've got hockey on my screen.
TBS.
That hockey game's cooking, folks.
We might just switch over and just start doing commentary on the hockey game.
Collision has some star power with Will Ospreay versus Lee Moriarty. See, you do have some star power because here's another oops match with Ospreay.
Bro,
what is it with Lee Moriarty getting all the love?
What is it with them not being able to protect talent or anything like that? You have such a depth of talent and you proceed to act like you have 5 people on your roster.
I don't understand why big free agents can't come in and just fuck with big names. I don't know why they have to fuck with Dante Martin and a Top Flight kicking the shit out of Claudio, by the way.
Right, but we see that though with fucking Mercedes.
Mercedes.
I'll ask you, should that match main event?
If that match main event, people are going to tune out. That's not going
They don't
to be
give a fuck. They've tuned out already. They don't give a fuck.
If that match is the main event, that's a fucking problem. That match will not be good enough and will not carry enough, and there is not enough interest in it. You cannot, and again, this has not. If it was two other women, I'd probably give you a thumbs up.
If it was Willow and another woman,
Willow and Mercedes Moné should not main event Double or Nothing. I mean, I'd rather Anarchy in the Arena main event the fucking show. But if they have, if they go on after, if they go to main event the two women after Anarchy in the Arena, they're assholes.
Well, we know that, but that's besides the point. But that's the thing is, so then when you put on Moné, her debut,
open the show.
You do it open the show. You do it middle of the show.
Get everyone CEOing right out of the fucking gate. Get it out of the way. This angle is weak. It's weak. You can't have.
Oh, I know it is.
Right?
I'm more just looking at what they'll do versus what I think they should do.
I'd rather Tony Storm and Serena Deeb main event the fucking pay-per-view than that.
Really?
Yeah, really. Really.
As Claudio with the spinning uppercut onto not Dante Martin, his brother, the other Martin, not Steve Martin, Darius.
We're getting This Is Awesome chance. What the fuck are the people in Vancouver drinking?
Well, I mean, they're in Vancouver and they're not hockey fans. So how is their life? What's your life like?
Oh, into the pole goes Darius.
Kingston there to bleed and take the pin. You shut up. Well, it's like Boston out here. But who wants to see Eddie in the ring? Like, let's be real, other than Nick. Exactly. You put some respect on Eddie Kingston's name.
Are you now? I heard other big names out there, people with big followings, saying we're really, really sick and tired of Anarchy in the Arena. It's run its course. We've got a lot of them. They're never that good anymore. Again, you can only do the golf cart spot so many times. At one point, you had asshole Jericho, fucking rappelling from a building. Like we've had real dumb shit with this, and I'm not. Look, last time Danielson was in an Anarchy in the Arena, they fucking knocked him goofy, and he was out for a while.
Yeah, well, then the last time too, you had Eddie Kingston out there with the famous
the
spot
gas
with him
can,
being the bloody zombie, with the Yankees shirt, about to just set everybody on fire. Yeah, it's 100%. The Anarchy in the Arena, they just do that all the fucking time. Christ, we saw that with Mark Briscoe dealing with fucking Jeff Jarrett and the total nonstop assholes. When they were still a faction, probably featured on AEW. Right. That's the thing, is even like we were talking about we talked about this on Backlash with the no holds barred, the street fight tag team match and everything. It works with WWE because they don't do it often. AEW has a fucking match like this once a week. We had a Rampage that ended with Sky Blue versus Willow.
Yeah,
with women going through barbed wire tables and everything. So what the fuck do I have to gain from this outside of what I could get Hangman coming through with the fucking on the horse?
Yeah, if they could have done their, I mean, if it was leading to blood and guts, I might be a little more intrigued. At least that we haven't seen in a hot minute. Maybe a cage match, but another no DQ shit that can happen everywhere, will happen everywhere. It's not my favorite. And again, like you said, there's no build. It's just like, here it is. And again, FTR never really been associated with the BCC. Like Danielson's in a faction. You could have had Team BCC and replaced Yuta with whoever as a more functioning team to go after the elite.
You could have made this story work and not even have to change out any pieces if you really wanted to. You just need to actually build to this. Nothing has a build. Literally, the build is the week before. That's it.
ask you another question. As we come out of picture-in-picture, folks, right now, Danielson in control of Darius.
Not Rucker, Martin.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
I don't want to be with you.
That's funny. But
question.
2 weeks ago, Tony Khan starts the show. Hi, everybody. I know I have a really broken neck, but I'm really happy about it. But I'm going to try and run the show remotely. It gets hijacked. The Bucks take over. Last week, this past week, no mention of this show, no mention of who's running the show. Are the Bucks running the show? Or is Tony running the show? Is that not an oversight on their part to like, you almost need Tony to come back and say, I'm good, I'm here. Ha ha.
Yes, all the way, yes. If you could have not even finished your question, I'd just been like, yes, just yes. This again, like I said, there's been no real thought out planning in all of this. That's the thing, is there's potential for this to be really good, but the biggest issue I have is there's no planning behind it. This is hotshot booking on top of hotshot. This is Vince Russo on steroids booking. Literally, there's no continuity. There's no consistency. There's no long-term thought behind any of this outside of let's strike while the iron's hot.
No, can you hear me right now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I was super.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, no. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not crazy. Well, I am crazy, but literally I had a Uber delay. So my head, I was still looking at the TV, though I was looking straight and ready to answer you. But on my visual, I was still looking away. So I was having a bit of an out-of-body experience.
Apparently, Toronto is just catching all of that Aurora Borealis up there. I'm out here like Seymour, fucking Super Nintendo Chalmers of Aurora Borealis at this time of year, specifically located where you decide to stream.
Yeah, right above my head.
Right.
Brian Danielson, woo, says TJ. Absolutely. 90% of the people in the chat think that BCC is going to win this. What's up, Geekbox? How you doing? Let's see that mature. What mature
choices Tony makes this week?
We're going to find out.
We're going streaming.
I think, Nick, if anyone's tuning in and they're like, oh, all these guys are doing their bashing, we're really not, because we think that Tony legitimately has the pieces to something that could be cool, could be good. And they're just not, they just don't know any better.
Bro, I spent an hour in a neck brace out here defending this man.
But did you go to the draft?
I believe in Joe Henry and Tony Khan.
Did you go to the draft with the neck brace, my friend? That's the question.
I mean, did I watch the draft with a neck brace? No, because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Fuck the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what it is.
There's a glitch, Boston. There's a glitch. Keep me up to date on that Ranger.
You can have the red pill or the blue pill.
I'll take the blue pill.
Eat them both at the same time and just see what happens.
Yeah, Ridge Wallace. I love the 2-belt champs idea. What did Ridge say? How do you guys? Do you guys see Cody versus Logan ending Cody about to be 2-belt champ? What did you think of this? Like being teased online and that, like Cody being like 2 belts, like.
Yeah,
Does this add to the heel element of like we're gonna find out next week that some contractual bullshit that no, Logan's belt's not on the line? It just adds more to that chicken shit heel story for him.
What was I got a 2 count from Dante on a Claudio. We missed it during actually watching SmackDown of it being, I guess, belt for belt. I've seen it. It's not. I've seen everybody else kind of saying it is.
No, it's not. Right now, as it stands, it's for 1 belt.
Fair enough. And it needs to stay that way, because I was about to say, if they make that for both belts, it's the worst decision that they've made under the Papa Paul era, I would say.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
you fuck over Logan going into SummerSlam what you do with that past that. I mean, cool. Cody can say he's a Grand Slam champion, but you've castrated Logan Paul, which to me, I saw a lot of people more praising even Logan coming out of that whole segment, like we did. Literally, he showed up and showed out because that's what the show's about with all of that.
It's over, by the way. The BCC with the win. So 90% of you were correct.
There we go.
No, you're 100% right. We called it the same thing of like, that's what I mean. I think that Logan's going to find a way to not defend his belt because you can't. You'll castrate the mid-card division altogether because then it becomes aimless.
Well, you fuck yourself over with that, and you fuck yourself over with Cody because so then Cody's got to lose at some point to drop that, or you strip him, which then you're making your world champ look weak. So you're screwing yourself twofold.
Mm-hmm. AEW doesn't need a Roman storyline. I don't think anyone implied that.
They need a storyline.
They need
Let's start there.
Brian's got a mic
and a fucking beat up chest.
Vancouver's beautiful. If you ever anybody ever gets a chance to go to Vancouver, it's lovely to visit.
Fair enough. Never been.
There's no potential for it to be good, planning or not. It is generic NWO ripoff with a bunch of scrawny bump monkeys and zero logic. Fire Phil, even though he didn't touch Tony, but keep the bucks. The lack of logic is an issue.
Absolutely, but again, if you watch our trial of Tony Khan here, to where I defended that CM Punk beat up both the Young Bucks and Jungle Boy, so both of these men, had gotten beat up by Phillip Brooks, and this man's in front of Tony Khan screaming at him. Tony's never been yelled at before. Shad Khan has never raised his voice to Tony Khan, so he doesn't know what that's like. That's the most scared he's ever been.
Maybe. You might not be wrong. I mean, it's a valid argument. Though I would argue that, did Punk really beat up Jungle Boy? It was a push and a headlock. Like, he
did more than Jungle Boy. He did more than Jack Perry.
Like, it wasn't much.
He's not a choke artist. Is that right?
That was awesome.
Yeah, but again, that's one of those, and that tells you who watches AEW and who doesn't, to where all of 10 people actually got a reaction to that.
Claudio just left.
Awkward.
Brian's still cutting a promo. Claudio just left because, see, this is what happens. If it was Eddie would stand out there beside him. But Claudio left. Like,
why do you say if it was Eddie would stand out there beside him? Eddie'd be taking the fucking microphone. You shut the fuck up.
But no, Eddie would at least be in the ring with him. Well, and don't forget, Brian is the boss. You can't just take the mic.
Yeah, but did Claudio leave because he's fed up with this? Or did he just leave of like, well, I guess this is my time to go because they followed him off?
That is so fucking bad from a formatting standpoint of like, you were going to write him into this moment. And then when Brian grabs the mic, you're cannon fodder. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. My time here's done. Bye.
Well, no, you could do that. Just don't stay with him. They stayed with him on a camera shot. That's why I'm like, why are you acknowledging this? That's why I didn't know if it was like him kind of turning.
But why couldn't Claudio sit on the turnbuckle and chill while this happened? They're still in the same faction from the last we've heard. They've never really broken up. They just tag team together.
I would have been fine if Claudio rolled out and you sat there. You cut to a close shot on Danielson, and by the time you come back, Claudio was gone, and you don't know where, when, or how, or why. Versus you sit there and you follow him out of the fucking exit scene.
I just don't. Yeah, I mean, in general, like I said, I would have rathered it was Eddie and Brian team up. You kind of see if they can. They have their issues. They have static, but they get the win. And then, they cut a promo on how much they're going to fuck up Team Elite for messing with AEW.
I agree with you, but at the same time, even why should I give a shit? Like, why are Danielson and Eddie mad at Team Elite?
Well, that's when you get the opportunity to cut that promo and say, like, this is our home. We love AEW. We love Tony Khan. No, we don't care if you're EVPs. We're coming after you. And I'm on the disciplinary board. Burr, 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 burr. You got to give us a chance to care, right? Like, we're here now. Do something. And that's where you have an opportunity tonight to let us care a little more. But it was so weird to have Claudio tag with him in a nothing match against Top Flight, high five Top Flight for a good try, and then cut an okay promo. It was silly to me.
To me, it's the acknowledging of Claudio leaving. And again, I thought that this would have, this needs a longer build out, a longer play out and everything. And I know initially not everybody was the biggest fan of this story, but if you're going to do it, fucking see it through. Don't sit there and just run through the chapters here.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And that's where I get like, oh, you had an opportunity and you just kind of missed it. It was kind of poorly delivered. But they're giving us the card for tonight. Up next, Ospreay will take on Moriarty. So
with Roderick Strong on commentary, which I am not a fan that Will Ospreay is going after the international championship. I almost called it the Intercontinental, but the international championship. Like, I don't know if they know what to do beyond like a storyline or like a angle in AEW.
Well, let me pitch something at you, because this is the argument I was given on Wednesday by a couple people online. But quickly, before we do that, I'll throw something at you. But Nick nailed it. Lots of movement, but no reason for any fans to care, because we're not being shown why we should 100%. And that's where, I mean, you have moments like tonight where, okay, fine, you got here in a weird way. Now make me believe that, okay, we can't change the past. Let's make it count moving forward, and you waste another opportunity to dig in a little.
Fair enough. I'm sorry, you were getting to
so with the whole situation of Will Ospreay, it was presented to me like, well, Will could win the IC title, the Continental whatever, the international fucking title, and then elevate it the way Gunther did to the IC title of the other company. That's one that was put my way. Now, I shot it down. I'm curious.
Well, then what did OC do with it?
What do you mean?
As an OC, I thought did that, right? That's what we were praising OC about, being the inaugural champion, or was OC the Seth Rollins of this, because he was the fucking pretty much the debut champion and all of that. I actually don't even know if he won it off the inaugural, but he's the one that you most think of with this belt.
Yeah, he went on.
No, just no. This title already doesn't work. They have too many titles. What the fuck? And Ospreay, I feel like this is a holding pattern for whatever reason. It's beneath him? Yeah.
Okay.
And even then, I'm still like, what are we doing with the Undisputed Kingdom? They don't seem even fucking relevant. Nothing about this seems relevant to anybody outside of just a holding pattern.
Mm-hmm. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
that's the thing is, sorry, real quick, but so if Ospreay loses, so then what?
Yeah, I mean, he almost is in a can't lose position, right? Like, even if they cheat him out, then what is like Ospreay help MJF against the Devils and then the Devils henchmen?
Dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. What?
Right, but I see triple digits in the chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, folks. Remember, we are back on Monday for Raw. We watch more live wrestling than anyone else out there. And up next, get your votes in. Who is going to win? As we got Ospreay taking on Lee Moriarty, and yeah, we know the answer to this one.
Yeah, well, I like this of the International House of Concakes title.
I mean, again, like I want. If you're going to bring in Sasha, she goes after Tony Storm. You're going to bring in Ospreay, he goes after your top guy. And I don't care. You got to make these people like, and again, he doesn't necessarily have to win it right away, but you got to put him in something that matters. I don't know that a feud with Roderick Strong, who hasn't been utilized great, is what you need for him. Now, they're going to have a banger of a match. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like the guy should be running amok with main event people. He should be fucking with John Moxley. He should be fucking with the Danielsons, which I know we got that. I know, but he needs to stay in that realm.
Could you have still gotten here to where we are present day and still sufficed every audience of Swerve comes out with a big ceremony and everything like that after he won first
Yeah.
Dynamite after Dynasty and all of that. And you have Ospreay come out, and he doesn't really say when he's going to challenge for it or whatever, but he gets in Swerve's face, and you have that little kind of nose to nose interaction and everything. Yeah. And then they still separate, and you could have still been here, but you at least tease enough of that's the end game.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm okay with the tease. And if you have Ospreay beat Roddy, now he's the IC title holder. Does he hold that right until All In to Wembley? Is it champion versus champion at Wembley? Like, what happens there?
Do they Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes at Wembley?
Yeah, feels like it, man. As Lee Moriarty coming out to the ring. The Bane, oh, man.
Bro, out here looking like Keon Coleman, the fucking Bills' first draft pick, of out here with just a giant yellow puffy coat and bragging about it.
Where is the Wyatt 6 thing coming from? Do we even know if it's 6 people will be involved in this, or it will have anything to do with Bray's name? Someone help me. We're getting closer. I know that because the clues keep saying we're getting closer. So they're playing with our emotions and they're dragging us along a little bit. It's going to be a family. It's more than one person. It's multiple times it's talked about us, and they forgot about us, and they locked us in a cage. So it's not one. So we're assuming 6. Is it going to have something to do with Bray's name? No, but they have tied it back to, Bray and the hurt and the loss and all of that, Nick. Now I know you might be slightly different than me in the take.
Well, no, they haven't specifically mentioned it, so I guess if that's where we're going to split hairs here, I saw a wild conspiracy theory out there of that, because they mentioned last night on SmackDown with in the red and all of that, and how that's between the black and white. I saw somebody that extrapolated that into, well, that means Eric Redbeard's going to be the leader of this faction.
Redbeard will not be the leader of the faction. I saw that too, and I thought, no, maybe it is alluding, like the different clues could be alluding to different components of this family. That I'm okay with. People, we saw freeze frames going around of CM Punk being removed from the intro, and a figure which people have accumulated to Sister Abigail in CM Punk's place. Interesting. So I don't know. I mean, again, one of the great quotes is I'm red in a world of black and white. I love that quote. So very interesting. I think it all ties into Bray. Again, this is based on the documentary. If you've watched the documentary, this is a continuation of a legacy story. And I really like where we're heading with it. And we're not getting white rabbits. We're getting the black bird. We're getting variations. We're getting different stuff. But you almost have to tie up loose ends on the way into this. And I think they're doing a good job.
We're getting the yin to the yang here,
NBA playoffs and UFC built-in excuse for terrible ratings. Yeah, well, again,
so
wrestling fans.
Sorry?
I was just going to say, wrestling fans find wrestling, period. I'm tired of the excuses.
Well, that's the thing, is I was almost going to back that up with, they, source Antique Roadshow as a fucking, conflict of fucking ratings out here with this.
When do you guys think we get Howdy? Do we even get Howdy? Or do we get the Wyatt 6? Who does, or who does he come after? This is the biggest question mark for me, Nick. We have no idea where this target is going to land.
And I'm so glad that we don't.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, is in a world full of dirt sheets, and especially with this being a Black Crow, and I'm glad that it's coming out here white as fucking linen out here of, I have no idea where they're going to go with this. And I'm loving every second of it.
Part of me wonders, and this is only my guess, people, you guys can let me know. I wonder if the tease keeps going until Money in the Bank. Middle of June, not that far away, is Money in the Bank, where we get the reveal finally. They don't reveal in Saudi. Maybe they don't reveal on a SmackDown or a Raw. Maybe it is Money in the Bank.
But it's almost a question of when they reveal. Is it just the reveal, or do they have a target in mind? Because I feel it's going to be just the debut.
I want carnage. I want carnage and chaos. I want them to Maybe not a specific, maybe it's just everybody. And they just, I want to see them lay waste to everything. I want them to be undeniably menacing. I really, especially if you do have Redbeard and Braun back together, I want them to run amok. I really do. But
well, it's funny that you mentioned Braun, because I've heard that even though he got drafted and debuted and everything, that he's still technically not medically cleared of that. He's still kind of on the mend here.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Well, and do you think that Braun, with them bringing him out the way that they did on the draft and everything, like that, we're going to turn around and completely, counter course here, or course correct, and switch him to this type of character versus,
I think so.
He's Brawny the Strowman.
Because he's been so quiet and they haven't pushed him in any direction at all. Like, it's not like
he just
like,
did back.
That's it. But because he's not committed to anything, I could definitely see them going, oh, by the way. But again, I don't know. We see all the lists going around of who's in the Wyatt Six. It's just guessing. People don't know. They're just guessing.
But I think their guess sounds pretty fucking good. It's pretty accurate. Right. Yeah, it might be a guess, but it's pretty goddamn solid here. As I see 113 people with us.
Let's go. Let's go. Be a friend. Tell a friend, folks.
As much as AEW might bitch about playoffs and, the Antique Roadshow about affecting their ratings, we know that it's not affecting our ratings. So let's help keep our ratings going up.
Can we get to 150? Can we get to 200? Be a friend. Tell a friend. Take this link. Drop it anywhere you talk about wrestling. See how many people we can get here on a Saturday night, folks. Right now, we are in picture-in-picture. Lee Moriarty's kind of in control of Will. So we will keep you posted on that. Will Ospreay in action against Lee Moriarty.
Yeah.
Chef Moriarty. Moriarty.
Well, and we've got fucking Ref Aubrey here, so
there you go.
As much as I love Aubrey, or as much as I love Ospreay, this has given me a lot of reasons of
right. This video, the video this time showed Sister Abigail behind Rhea, and the sheet mask was on the floor for a single frame. So pumped. Now, see, I didn't see the sheet mask part. So that's awesome. I love it. I mean, there's YouTube channels right now dedicated to these clues. I think it's excellent.
Oh, again, this is the whole augmented reality game and everything like that still worked so well with the White Rabbit that we've praised up and down of. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do it, this is the way you do it.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Why is the top star in this shit show?
Because they don't book him like a top star. Welcome to the AEW roster.
And I like them booking names on Collision and trying to make it worth people tuning in. But Will Ospreay versus Lee is not going to do it. And in the second match spot, and if you're a Will Ospreay fan more than you're an AEW fan, you can get this match in now and call it a night. Back to the other stuff.
It's one of those of, give me a fucking reason for this match. Give me something outside of, it's a match that happens. This feels like if Will Ospreay was on Monday Night Raw and then showed up at NXT and was just randomly taken on like Josh Briggs.
So Ospreay's taking on Roddy at Double or Nothing. Yeah, why not have him fight Taven or somebody right now?
It's amazing how literally we can be on the vitamins and on the substances and everything like that and can literally just shit out better booking ideas than this man who owns the fucking company.
Yeah, like, wouldn't that make more sense to help build up this rivalry? Like, you couldn't throw a friend of Roddy's at him?
Again, Tony, our socials and everything like that are running right beneath us and all of that. So you can 100% reach out, be a friend, tell a friend. We'll help you out. We got you. Oh. We're not saying we need to be on TV. We don't need to take no bumps with the Bucks or anything like that. Just let us run creative and we'll fix your shit.
One of the Bucks can get me up. Why is Ospreay facing this guy? It's so funny because I feel bad. I think Lee's an actually pretty good wrestler, but the man's been the bane of my existence for 2 years now. Like, when Punk came back, Punk had a match with him. He's like this jobber gatekeeper of AEW when they sign people. Like, oh, fight Lee.
He's the Brooklyn Brawler of Collision.
The Dolph Ziggler?
Brooklyn Brawler is what I said, but yeah, Dolph works.
I gave him more love. Oops.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, see, I don't like this. How do you feel about this angle? He won't hit the Tiger Driver.
that goes back into was it kayfabe with the fucking injury thing?
Well, Brian
And all of
seems
that.
okay.
And I mean, if you're gonna do it, then if you're gonna do it and it's a long-term thing and it pays off to him and Danielson, and say they even have a match, and then Danielson gets the advantage, and then it's even, and then you've got to get to the third match, and Ospreay's got to pull it out to fucking pull off the win. Great. Do I think we're ever gonna get anywhere near there? Fuck no. So it's a little half, like 6 to 1, half dozen to the other here.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. But Lee giving him a go. And I don't see, I don't love, and we talked about this before, but I don't love Lee pushing Ospreay to a 12-minute match, like a 15-minute match. Oh, goodbye, Lee. Oh.
Ooh. Blue Thunder Bomb. 1, 2. Two go.
Blue Thunder Bomb's a 2 magnet. Looking at all the AEW All In seat map, only half the stadium is sold. Lots of unsold seats at the moment. Doesn't really surprise me this time.
Last I looked, they only had it's about a 7,000 seat set up. Shane Taylor getting involved.
Shane Taylor getting super kicked in the mouth.
That should have been the fucking match, if anything.
Oh, the reach around kick. Oh, wow. Lee dodging.
How does the ox cutter into the label lock? But I think they have Double or Nothing set up for the All In seat map. I hadn't looked at that. I was going to say Double or Nothing. I knew it was 7,000 seater set up, and I think there are 1,000 tickets away.
Oh, it's too bad they couldn't pull 10,000 for a pay-per-view, man. Come on. He won't look. He's looking at Roddy. But see, here's the funny thing about the angle. Oh, wow.
Stormbreaker.
He's got a lot of finishers,
1,
folks.
2, 3.
He's got a lot of finishers, folks. He's got options. He's got options.
Right.
Gets the win. Here's the hard part about this. Again, the storytelling a little bit, Nick. They legitimately. So he doesn't want to do the Tiger Driver because of Brian. Brian's going to be in an anarchy in the arena. We just saw him in a match. He's doing okay. So why are you afraid to do that move then?
Again, no one thought anything out. You have instantly put more thought into all of this than anyone that works there.
And Shane Taylor jumps Ospreay. So he's going to fight, watch. Shane Taylor, Ospreay on Dynamite. Not Taven, not Bennett.
Not continuing the story, not explaining the story. And that's not a knock even on Shane Taylor, because I think Shane Taylor's great. I think he should be, if you're going to do Collision almost as its own kind of halfway separate brand, Shane Taylor should be one of your top guys on this fucking show. He's the fuck around and find out guy.
Yeah. Like it or not, wrestling fans, this match will last more than 15 minutes, 3-hour show. Facts. And then it went for a while. But right now, Roddy's standing over Will Ospreay with the Kingdom. But Ospreay did not get beat up by the champion. He got beat up by a random jobber guy.
Bro.
The Kingdom didn't beat him up. The Shane Taylor beat him up.
That's the biggest thing is I get if you like this or whatever, but there's so many obvious mistakes, mishaps, missed moments that it's painful at times to watch.
That's like McGregor being set up for a big fight, and instead of having a war of words at the press conference with the guy he's fighting, he gets in a fucking argument with someone else, which he's been known to do, but it doesn't really sell the fight. That guy. Right? But it doesn't really sell the fight. He generally gets in beef with the people he's got to fight. The biggest heel in wrestling.
Speaking of people I want to fight.
She got the ball to the plate, though. I'll give her points. She got the ball to the plate.
Bro,
she's
that is like the bare minimum of athletic capability of like you can
I've seen a lot of
fall.
bad first pitches, my guy.
Right,
So
and they're bad at athletics.
So contract signing between Willow and Mercedes. Nick, you weren't here on Wednesday. Mercedes continues to be the biggest heel in wrestling, and nobody's talking about it on the show. Willow's great. Willow's really good as a babyface champion.
I love me some Willow. I hate me some Mercedes.
And here comes I don't even know what we call them anymore. I was going to call them the Mogul Embassy, but they left the Mogul Embassy. So they're a trios team now.
Cage in the Bloodline, I guess. Yeah, Brian Cage in the Gates of Agony.
The Gates of Tonga.
Cage in the Gates.
I don't know if I have faith in Bo enough to be able to run the high octane level of crazy in order to do justice to the horror aspect of Uncle Howdy, the character. I understand this concern. I get this concern. That seems a fair concern, Nick. I do think that, again, watching the Bray documentary, watching some of the stuff we've already got, watching, I think there's a different level to Bo. There's a maturity to Bo. And I really do think with the writing team around him and using the same people, I think he's going to surprise us. I hope he's going to surprise us.
Well, and even watching that, he sounded like his brother. It's
literally
outside of a couple octaves, it pretty much sounded like it was Wyndham versus, Taylor.
Right. I'm not even watching the show. I'm just here for the tag stream champions of the world. MDB. Thank you, sir. The Geek Box.
They're taking on right now fucking
nobody's
Machine Gun Kelly and
and his brother. It's the Machine Gun.
They're taking on the Machine Gun Boys instead of the Island Boys.
Right. It's the Machine Gun Kellys. And no Stallone. That's no Stallone.
Literally.
So they
Post Malone and Jelly Roll had a child. This is who they're beating up right now.
Jesus. I love this powerbomb, though. That's a wicked powerbomb.
You know who made it fucking cool? The Shield.
Yeah, but the Shield didn't do the throw. But yeah.
No, they just set them there. Like, just a couple feet. It's the same fucking thing.
So Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony with a huge squash match. Big win. We saw them turn on Swerve on Wednesday.
You can't be serious with that statement.
Not at all.
You can't be serious with that statement.
No.
A huge win. All of that. No. I'll win.
They always lose. Those three motherfuckers lose all the time. That's a huge win in their career.
Bro, Brian Cage is about to be the head of this, of out here talking, cutting promos. Brian Cage, of all people.
I'm Brian Cage.
The Swolverine out, the Sid Vicious of fucking promos out here. Of I have half the brain that you do.
This isn't Swerve's house anymore. So Swerve is fighting Christian, but promos are being cut on him by Brian Cage.
Bro, tell me. Look at the main event caliber challengers that we have lined up for Swerve Strickland after he won the title. Christian Cage and Brian Cage, the Cage brothers.
They're putting the man in a cage.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Like, just fuck. I mean, I get the breakup, even though it was out of the blue. But heel group, babyface champion, you needed a split there, otherwise everybody becomes a babyface. But this is just...
Oh, we got Swerve!
Bro, this is what your world champion's involved with, though.
Everyone's beefing with
others. This is Cody Rhodes out here dealing with metaphor, not trick even. Like, this is what the fuck are we doing?
Oh, wait. Swerve coming in from behind. He's got a chain. Oh, remember I said big win? Big win? Now they're going to get beat up by one dude. So much for big win.
Yeah, but it's your world champion, though, too, of all things. Like, I get the connection, and I get that they were a group. Anyone remember a big mobile embassy moment or anything? No, we just remember Rick Ross of you a big motherfucker. False.
Big suplex. So Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony just looked like absolute monsters for about 3 minutes. Now you're back into big jobbers. Big jobbers.
Yeah, you with the JOB.
But Swerve taking everybody out. I will remind everybody, he is not fighting anybody from the Mogul Embassy at Double or Nothing.
Well, thank God for that. And I mean, I guess if you want to give it credit, well, he took out 3 people by himself. So there you go. If you want to spin it that way, but just what the fuck?
Oh, big stomp by Swerve. Getting
this is the best you have for Swerve Strickland as your world champion is Christian Cage, Kill Switch, and the fucking Mogul Embassy.
Posty roll and the machine gun Twinkies.
Yeah.
As now Swerve is choking.
He's about to choke out Khan
with a chain.
What the fuck?
Bishop Khan being just. We need some security. Good idea, Nigel.
It's almost like you have them in the building.
Jesus.
How long till Toa Leona shows up in a new bloodline?
Oh, I'm just waiting for the Gates of when are the contracts up for Gates of Agony? Because
the bloodline.
Man, there's a lot of Samoans. There's a lot of Polynesians.
Yeah, Polynesian prevalent in pro wrestling here.
Just when you thought the bloodline story was over, here comes the Gates of Agony and Lance.
Right, the Gates of Agony opened up, and the Polynesians came running.
It's gonna turn into the fucking brawl scene from fucking Anchorman.
Yeah,
so
Jim
instead of all the channels.
Where did he pull a cinder block out of? How do you do that?
Swerve just Sabu'd a cinder block.
No, he didn't Sabu. He just kind of
Ole.
You know, Ole. Yeah. But where'd he pull it out of? He just shot it out of him? Because it's the LED screen. He didn't pull it from under the fucking apron.
Brohim. Brian Cage left. No,
like security. I said, we're setting up for a world title match. People are mad about Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes for a world title. We're setting up Brian Cage versus Swerve Strickland for a world title.
Yeah. Kind of.
Oh, no, we are. I feel after this, we're going to get the Cage brothers.
Oh, that was bad angle on the camera.
Poor camera angle. Poor camera
angle. Should be fired. Again. You try to do something cool and you book and you fucking punt it.
For those listening and not watching, so Swerve had Toa Leona on top of the ring steps and was going to, do the concerto kind of spot, and the camera angle turned to the right and kind of very much a wide shot. And you could very clearly see that Swerve did not come within a fucking sniff of that man's hair.
Camera angles matter.
Literally, figuratively, and metaphorically.
Right, ladies, angles matter. What's going on, Mike Rose? Ridge, you read this one. That's long. Fuck, I'm tired.
Thanks. I'm ready to retire like the other Ridge. How do you guys feel about the PLE King, Queen of the Ring? Just not excited about it. I'm more looking forward to Clash of the Castle. I feel like WWE didn't have to do Saudi. There would be no PLE. I disagree. I think we still have enough time to get us excited for that because we're only through the first round. We still have the potential of, think about it. There's the strong potential. We're going to get Gunther versus Ilya on free TV.
True. Fact.
And all that. We got Randy Orton. We got Ilya versus Ricochet on free TV. We got Randy Orton versus AJ Styles on free TV. So I think there's the potential for it to be really well. I get obviously the Saudi hate. Clash, I don't know why we're already excited for that outside of Scotland, and they've done Clash well before, and Drew.
Look, Clash is going to be fun. I'm excited for SummerSlam. I'm excited for a lot of things here. But realistically, I always see someone say this like on the way into a pay-per-view. I'm not really that excited. Again, the full card hasn't come to fruition yet. I'm excited for it just because, and again, if you guys want to dive into the politics and bullshit, fine, do it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to show up and I'm going to cover a pay-per-view and watch the wrestling. But at the end of the day, potentially getting a, I don't know, like a fucking Jade in the final of this, the way they've built up the King and the Queen. If we get Gunther, Randy Orton final, or LA Knight finds his way into the final, there's a lot of potential here, and I think it's going to be fun. Now, do keep in mind, people, they were contractually obligated to continue the contract that they have with the Saudis. Like, they can't just up and leave. So I know some people, oh, Triple H, just like Vince, going back to Saudi. They are locked in. They can't just say no, sorry. There's penalties, there's punishment, you know, with the Saudis.
Yeah, but they might also renew. So it's not one of those.
Shut up, Nick. We're not in court.
But yeah, that's the thing is you can't, you know, the deniability kind of goes away here. But yeah, there's the political way you want to look at this, and then of looking at it as we get another pay-per-view in the middle of the afternoon, and they're actually putting a prominent effort behind it. And think about it. This was doing the Saudi shows at one point. Literally, it was a fucking obtuse idea to sit there and even have the women on the card. So now we could theoretically have multiple women's matches on the same card.
Yeah, I'm excited for Becky Liv. See how this plays out. I'm predicting a big Liv win so the Sims can stop crying. Right. Also, I think we're going to get we got Swerve, by the way. We're coming back out of commercial break. And again, like I said, I'm excited. I might be in the minority, but I think Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul is going to be a hell of a wrestling match.
As long as it's not for both titles.
It won't be.
Better not be. Vinny Two Nuts put up King Gunther sounds pretty sweet to me. Absolutely.
I'm with Vinny on that one for sure.
Fans are being asked 300 pounds to 2,500 pounds each for Clash of the Castle. The Scots are not happy about it, but they paid, but they're still going.
Well, it's like what happened in France where they broke all types of fucking records. And if you did the math of like 12,000 people, how did they break records of houses that were much bigger? What were they charging in France? Fortune.
They broke all the gate records, not the attendance records. Screw you, Boston. My identity is not a lawyer now. I just make sensible arguments.
Right.
Todd, sorry.
So I think we're going to get Swerve and Cage in a match. Not tonight.
I told you. But I'm all thrown off by Daniel Garcia's getting I hump like Joe Hendry fucking shit out there. I was like, this man's looking right at me while he's up there doing this.
The only thing I can say, and I've always stood on this premise, so I can't, is if you find something stupid, but it gets over. I cheered for a man with a sock on his hand. I cheered for a man that had a mannequin on his, like, if you find something that the crowd gets into, do you, boo-boo? But
no, there's a difference because Disco Inferno's still a thing. There's a difference.
Disco Duck.
Yeah, this is more Howard the Duck, but yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, now Daniel Garcia, I'm not going to put a poll up for this one. He is wrestling KM, who's a much larger man who's about to take an L.
He looks like QT Marshall's fucking cousin of QT KM.
KM.
Does anyone know where KM's from or anything like that? Any sort of backstory, what have you? Because I feel like then this becomes kind of Squashville Central here, kind of most of Collision almost.
Right. Yeet versus Gunther versus Tama. Ooh. Why don't people have patience anymore? William, I'm with you, buddy.
This damn younger generation.
The Microwave Society. Shout out, Anthony.
Right.
Speaking of Anthony, Nick, the review, the TNA Impact review, the weekly review hosted by Anthony went live today. If you haven't seen it yet, when you're done the stream tonight, go give Anthony some love. Go check out under our video section the latest weekly edition of the TNA Impact review. For those who normally tune in, if you're a regular here, You would notice we're not really keeping that much of an eye on TNA right now. So Anthony will be doing a weekly review to keep you guys up to date on that. If there's ever a big show, we will cover it, but we'll cover all their pay-per-views in the meantime. And we will be here on Thursdays for things like the Dirt Sheet Debate and Wrestling Court.
Absolutely. As Tony Hayes of saying, I think Cam used to be in TNA Impact, and then Richard saying Cam was in TNA now of days.
Okay. Humped his face. He humped his face, folks. For those who cannot see at home, you're probably happy, but I don't know, Nick. I don't know if I can take a face humping.
We throwing hands for real.
We throwing hands for reals.
This went shoot, brother.
Right,
Cam is Kevin Matthews, not related to Austin. Oh, wait, what? How did we get to Kevin and she's 41-year-old? He is backstage coach. All right, you threw me off with pronouns.
Yeah.
Backstage coach, producer of All Elite Wrestling. So again, like I said, QT Marshall.
Yeah, and Danny gets a big win. Manhandles that grown-ass man. And with ease.
Stop saying big win when they just get Owen. Just say Owen.
That's not even, it was barely a win.
He picked up the victory. He got the 1, 2, 3. Find a less putting them over way to say it. Because that's just, you did the job. You did the job. You did what you should have done.
I'm doing Excalibur's job better than he is. Let's be real. Like, fuck, I'm putting the talent
and he's not even wearing a mask.
As we go back to Dynamite, Daniel Garcia for the win. Is KM Kevin Matthews? Okay, so it goes. So everyone's kind of established. Okay.
There we go.
Feuding and tagging with Caleb Comley, if I remember correctly. There you go. Didn't register in my noggin.
Nope.
So we're getting a replay of how Dynamite ended the brawl.
It's amazing how they can act tough when they have to actually.
All the fun stuff. Sorry, Nick.
Fight versus when they have to shoot for it. Just get their ass handed to them.
Well, I think I would have liked more of that to been on the air. Like what they just showed was better because it got cut off when they started punching. If we would have seen more of kind of like the fallout, it might have felt a little stronger. But FTR's here.
100% that's what you need. They need to be. You literally shown footage of these fuckers fighting and everything like that. You need to have that brawl out and them fucking swinging at each other and everything like that. Not this fucking the second anything gets physical, we off the air. And I get that's a terrible fucking timing management thing. But yeah.
As FTR making their way out to the ring, I'm not quite sure who they're taking on.
We're getting Dax versus.
Oh, that's right. We're getting Dax
peripheral Pitbull here. Dynamite King.
Wait, what?
Bulldog, yeah. I was in the fucking.
It was a K9
household there, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Dax versus Dynamite. Coming out to the old Bulldogs theme, bro.
Well, no, even when you said Dax versus Dynamite, I was like, he's fighting the show?
Right. Yeah, well, he was once upon a time until he got that face. Now he just defends the show.
Now he's sucking off the show.
He looks so much like his dad. It's not his dad, it's his uncle, but he looks like he's in the family.
You're a little pup.
He's so little. Why didn't he fight Garcia? Why didn't KM fight Dax and fucking Garcia fight the other kid?
Because I'm not letting this man thrust his hips into my face.
Well, the size of this guy, he would have been over his head. It would have been more of a teabag on his skull.
Just catching him with the tip on the forehead.
KJ, that was gold last Thursday. Sup, KJ and Nick. Richard, thank you. We appreciate the love for Wrestling Court. If you haven't seen it yet, that's another thing you can go check out in our archive. Wrestling Court, the first edition. We put Tony Khan on trial. We will be back soon with the next edition of Wrestling Court. Feel free to comment on any of the videos, letting us know what you would like us to put on trial. But absolutely had a ball doing it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We got lots more coming your way. It was a big win for us, Nick.
Yeah, you can see how I got screwed publicly here. I was shafted, and not by Samuel L. Jackson.
You got screwed biblically.
Right. I was the Bret Hart of that situation.
Right.
Speaking of, the Hart family and the Dynamite kids and all that, I should have just been out there. WCW.
Nick screwed Nick.
Fuck you.
I don't know. Gunther and Tonga are both heels. Yeah, I mean, again, I still think there's something like Randy Orton laid the groundwork. He put Tonga on notice. So there's a good chance that Randy puts Tonga out, or that, KO comes back to kind of screw up Tonga's opportunity. We got legs here. We'll see what happens. There's options.
Right. And I don't like mentioning this man, but I will say, he does kind of look like Benoit.
Very similar, kind of stature.
Well, even in the face and everything, he's just missing the chipped teeth and the fucking beard. And it looks more like Benoit.
Randy Orton sitting front row at UFC tonight. Yeah, the wrestlers seem to like those free ticks, eh?
That's amazing what happens when UFC and WWE work together. How much they'll fucking just, who wants these free tickets?
The men throwing headbutts at each other. And they're in St. Louis tonight. So yeah.
Oh, that's super fitting.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the Meltzer report that came out saying that WWE doesn't have big plans for Cody until the Rock and Roman Ridge? Nick, I think we've answered this before.
It's wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. It's wrong. And amazing. The greatest thing about fucking journalists and everything like that is when you actually call them out about being wrong, is they just block you. That's how you treat, people that are just trying to let you know if you're wrong, you fucking idiot. But yeah, no, they're not going to sit there and put the title on Cody Rhodes and not have plans after this. This is Triple H is the Kevin Feige of pro wrestling out here.
Yeah.
He's got fucking plans upon plans upon plans. He's in the phase 5 and we're still on phase 2.
Ooh. Dax gets popped with a shoulder block and he goes down. Almost seems hard.
A good old K2 tape there.
How do you I agree with this. And if Dave Meltzer had reported that, there's nothing serious planned for Cody, like we're gonna get like an AJ Styles, Logan Paul title defense, where he's probably clearly gonna come out with a dub until The Rock and Roman are back. I believe that. But to tell me that they don't have plans, that they're not prepared, that they're not on the ball, that they're not, getting ahead of the game, that to me is a fallacy. Everything's been so methodical. I know people get frustrated and impatient, but look what's happening with the King of the Ring. Like the King of the Ring is legitimately stacked this year.
To the point to where it's getting questioned if it's, cursed because we've had 1 or 2 big names be injured out of it, allegedly, and all of that. Meanwhile, we've still got Gunther, Ilya, Jay, LA Knight, Tama Tonga, etc.
Listen, Dawkins did fine last night, and if Tonga was meant to advance anyway, like if it would have been a Bobby finish that Bobby took the L, maybe it was better that Bobby, couldn't compete. Dawkins takes the L, we move on.
Like I said, he came down with I'm not gonna job.
Yeah, no, you let him do it.
Right.
Dynamite Kid kind of looks at Going Hard. He does again. They all kind of look kind of connected, even though they're not all fully related.
Incest is a thing.
Oh, come on now. This is Canada, not the South.
South Canada.
Southern Canada. I don't want to say it. I was like right away. I'm like, well, maybe New Brunswick. No, that's not nice. Nick was coming in with some crazy ideas in the court. Just because you're owner don't mean you can write the show. Nick taking some heat.
Listen. Just because you didn't get it just means you didn't get it. Doesn't mean I was wrong. It just means you didn't get it.
Listen, Nick was fighting upstream the whole fucking show.
I was a salmon in that whole situation, just swimming upstream, fighting for my life.
Yeah, that was a tough one. We'll see what the next trial brings. I think it'll be a fun one. This was the match I was looking forward to the most on this card. As we are in picture, folks, both men on the ground on the outside. 104. We've been above triple digits for quite a while. Couple small dips, but we appreciate it, folks. Let's see if we can get that back up to 125, 150, 200, 300. Do I got 4, 4, 4, 4?
5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Yeah, the courts are fun. My favorite part is watching some of the comments, especially on clips, where people don't get we're fucking around. And they're just like, this guy, oh, you guys are so dumb. And you're like, oh, man.
Well, no, there was even David of like, if only Nick wore a neck brace. And I realized watching it back, I was like, yeah, well, the beard kind of covered that I was wearing the neck brace. And I was like, doing this and everything. I actually have a neck and a beard and, you know, masculinity, unlike Tony Khan. So it doesn't fucking, I hide the neck brace well.
Basically, next time Nick has a neck brace gimmick, he will shave for it.
No, I won't. No, maybe I'll put this in a fucking, you know, tie or fucking something like that. I'll fucking put it in a ponytail, what have you. But yeah, no, I ain't shaving.
Mm-hmm. What is next for Samoa Joe? Any ideas? That's a really good question, Richard, because on Dynamite we got a Samoa Joe package and it was a really good one. But like he's revving up, like I'm gonna fuck up everybody. But we're like, who? Like, where does he go? Will it be Joe versus Ospreay for the IC title? Like, where does Joe go? Joe go after
Solo.
Adam Copeland?
Solo.
Going back to the dub?
I mean, that's the thing is, I understand of obviously Joe's probably going to stay in AEW, but where does he go in AEW? Like, so you go at a Hangman? Well, you're 2, 3, 4, 5 rungs down on that, you know, fucking challengers list. So then what? You go back at Swerve? Okay, interesting to run it back that fast. You go at Copeland? Yeah, babyface versus newly babyface. Like, he's really at a kind of a standstill.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's wedged out, and what you need to do is you got to build the story. You got to tell a reason why he's going to feud with somebody. Yeah, I mean, again, maybe it's Copeland. I'm leaning it might be Copeland.
Then you've got babyface versus babyface, and yeah, I'll do that. And maybe I'll be out here like Luke Gallows, be like fake Kane.
Nick, don't tell us how you were born.
I'll give you the conception story. That's the members only.
Wouldn't trust a Meltzer report anymore if he said Strowman had a beard. Yeah, I don't believe the guy who told me this guy was blue. I'd still look out the window to make sure he was not bullshitting. Zero credibility in my books. What's up, Chris? Dynamite Kid to the top. Shotgun drop kick. The crowd loves this kid. He's the new Hook. He's the new Hook.
Fuck no. He's just in his hometown.
Oh, that helps. That does help.
Yeah, it's just a wee bit. Yeah.
Unless you're Jericho, then we still don't care.
Well, you gotta just not be shit.
Jericho got no love in Winnipeg.
Is it surprising though that Dax wrestles all the singles matches for FTR? Cash wrestles none of the singles matches.
And the only singles win Dax has is over Cash.
Even worse.
No MJF. What we saying? AEW or WWE? This is an ongoing debate, and I'm still steadfast with AEW.
Just give me that moment. I will happily take the heart attack, much like Ric Flair, of if MJF shows up in WWE and we get him either with or challenging Cody Rhodes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I still think that would, and I still think it's inevitable. I think, yeah, maybe he did sign a contract a year ago before, and he's still locked in for 2-3 years. But I think when he gets done that contract, he'll be still a very young man, and I think he'd be highly sought after.
Do you think that there's the potential of, even with the Cody Aldis or the Cody Logan stuff, that we're gonna get Aldis Cody?
I don't think so, but I did like that Aldis said, "Hello, old friend." It was a nice throwback.
Superplex. Oh,
really hard. You were talking about Tama last night. Like, Dax just took all of it.
listen, that's not even close to that. I was gonna go more give the Dynamite Kid there his little praise for taking the superplex like that versus Tommy.
Right.
Yeah, that was just a flat back.
Joe was never used correctly in WWE. Not never, and he was really, really good in NXT. On the main roster, there was times they used him pretty good, and then there was times they fucked him completely.
I hate in pro wrestling that your last memory of a person is the only memory you have of a person. It feels like the last memory that people have of Joe in the WWE is him in a poncho, but for instantly forget, like you said, of him in NXT with dun 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 Joe, all of that, and we know that Joe's a Triple H guy.
Oh, they're rating suplexes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, again, but there was, Steve, you're not wrong. There was times where, like, I feel like Joe is a guy that could have been a world champion, and Vince would never see it that way.
Roll through, yeah, but new regime.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, my neck, my back. Ouch.
I'm wondering who's going to win this match. I was trying to make it rhyme and to cover up with the other lyric.
Tonight on Rampage, Dalton Castle without the boys.
Well, they got fired, so yeah. Kind of hard to have the boys, but they don't work there no more.
Yeah, but you see the boys, like, we're like, well, wait a minute. That's bullshit. They fired us for being late, and there was this back and forth about whether or not they were actually fucked up, but they basically just didn't show up to their job and then got mad and then blamed the company. What a fucking ass backward story it ended up being.
Roll through 2 count. Yeah, but it's also, I think that's what happens. Interesting getting reverse roll up into a pin there, but I think it also happens because Tony never releases anybody. So when he does, the fucking T comes out of the woodwork of, well, we about to just talk about everything.
Oh, we're going into
Powerbomb.
Powerbomb.
2, 3.
Dax with the win. It was a decent match. That was an all right match.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Dynamite Kid is all elite fucking graphic to pop up now.
It's a pretty good match.
But again, do you feel that this should have connected more towards the Anarchy in the Arena match versus just connecting to local hometown hero gets a match with a top guy?
A little bit. It's kind of what I said earlier about Eddie Kingston being involved earlier. It would have made more sense that instead of having Claudio partner with Danielson and then just roll out for the promo because he has no part in the story, just have the guy in the story be a part of the match. I think you had an opportunity, even if it was Brandon Cutler, like there's something, you know what I mean? Like, let him, why not have, you want to make Collision cool? Jack Perry's going to wrestle fucking Dax.
I'll even say you don't have to change opponents. You could sit there and do it of opponent to be named, and then you have the Young Bucks cut in or whatever and say, so tonight, because we're here, you're going to take on da-da-da-da-da. Then you almost get the kid even more over because he's a surprise in his hometown.
Yeah, I'm with that.
And he has a fucking competitive match.
Well, we saw what they did with Taya Valkyrie, right? Like, she was in her hometown. Everybody all day was buzzing how she was going to be there. And they brought out some local talent and then brought her out after. They were like, oh,
bro,
man.
They hate Canada. For a company that tours so much in Canada, they fucking hate Canada.
I feel like that was that Kanye moment right there. Just AEW hates Canada.
They do. There's a sign right behind Shivani. Shivani puts butts in the seats.
That's awesome.
On Dynamite, we're getting Moxley and Danielson versus Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb. A great match, but the fuck about this story?
That's interesting. But we are going back to Dynamite. This happened after Dynamite went off the air. Wait, so now time out.
This is painful.
I love AEW sometimes, guys. It's a gift that keeps on giving. We are going back to Dynamite. The guys are cutting a promo, and I'm going to tell you what I find extremely funny about what I just saw. But
I don't know what the. This is like if a kindergartner wrote a wrestling show. Literally, he's out here half the time of I drew a blue duck because I've never seen a blue duck before with this shit.
All of you are dead. Wait, what is this? Christopher
They're going after Christopher Daniels walking backstage. It's so funny that they keep bringing up Vegas and all of this because these two fuckers look like they live on the street in Vegas.
Ooh. There you go. Daniel's firing up. No one else.
Basing your voice?
Say it with your chest. Wait, time out. You can't let them get.
Bro, if you're supposed to be the big heel EVPs, why are you letting this fucking guy talk to you like that and everything? This should be cool. Well, you don't have a fucking job anymore and everything. Throw your fucking stones on the table. Why are you getting dog walked by your fucking agent when you're supposed to be the big bad EVPs?
Yeah, we were just talking, and again, yeah, you're right, 100%. And oh wait, Daniels is back.
Oh, we're gonna set up a fucking match between Matt and Christopher Daniels or some shit here now. That's what we're gonna have happen.
Okay.
Shout out Daniels getting his eye fixed, by the way. He's not got Shawn Michaels anymore.
Oh, good job. So a guy who's not involved. You have 4 people that could be involved, and one of the people not involved at all is now picking a fight to be involved.
After, like I said, he just dog walked the big MVP or the EVP that's supposed to be the big heel in this fucking feud. Just got dog walked by an agent. Do you remember when Stan sat there and just told, Triple H what's what and told him the business and everything backstage? Mm-hmm. This is just what the fuck.
Christopher Daniel and Matt Sydal against the Young Bucks on Wednesday.
Okay. That's the thing.
So
I want to like this. They are giving us multiple upon multiple reasons not to. This is like being on the highway. If they're giving you every exit to get off, and we're just hoping to see where this fucking road goes.
Right. Up next, Robin Renegade taking on Thunder Rosa. Like the guy from Hangover. That's even better. 5-0. Solid match. Dax and Dynamite. It was a good match. I will give them credit. It was a good match. I just didn't give a shit. But here's
what I saw of Dynamite Kid, and I feel terrible because I know he actually has a name besides that. But what I saw of him, he looked good. Like I said, I could see him if they could actually figure this shit out. Like if they had an NXT, sign him to a fucking deal. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of it was a their match.
Well, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I think that, and this goes back to what I laughed at with they go back to Wednesday. So they recorded this on Wednesday after the show.
Mhm.
And Okada challenges Dax for Wednesday. Why did he not just challenge him for tonight? And then we got that match tonight, and you need people to tune in on Saturday. Why not do that instead of this? But now we're going to get another Dax match on Wednesday.
Again, sir, I've told you this before. You're thinking too much into it. The AW fan base, they think from show to show. There is no thinking to the next show or anything. You've already thought too far advanced for them.
Yeah. So Wednesday should be interesting. They're stacking matches up now.
Again, I can say this now because we're not in court. Tony's a great matchmaker. He's not a booker. He's a great matchmaker. He's really great at putting cool shit together. I will give him that. I said it prominently when we watched Dynasty of even with Danielson and Ospreay. There is nothing that Tony Khan did outside of employing both of them to make that match great.
Yeah, but I mean, even saying that he's a great matchmaker, like, I mean, I feel like anybody's fucking helmet wearing cousin could put some of these matches together.
No, they couldn't because they put the other matches that we get together.
Like, I mean, Danielson Ospreay. Well, there's a layup. Like, I mean, ooh, what a great matchmaker. Well, yeah, kind of wrote itself.
I don't even think someone's saying that he's a great matchmaker. They're just saying he is a matchmaker.
He is a matchmaker.
How I argue that we're not arguing if he can do it well.
We're going back to Chewbacca, folks.
Right. Can he matchmake? He matchmakes. Right. Not asking him to do it well.
Oh, it's too funny. But this show needs a new writer. Yeah, I would say. SCU. No, we thought we were going to get SCU. We're going to get Matt Sydal and that would have been cool if we reunited SCU for a match, but the first ever AEW tag champs. And then that match has representation because if the Elite are destroying AEW, take out the first ever champs, I can give you some rope with that.
But you also then would have to play into it as a story of and actually acknowledge that outside of just saying in passing of we're going to tear this down from the fucking where we started and build this anew. And so we're going to go and we pick off the first world champ, the first tag champs. We pick off the first world champ. And looking at you, Jericho.
Right.
All that. And Christ, well, Kazarian's already an Impact and they don't want to deal with that partnership. And where the fuck is Scorpio Sky?
I think Scorpio Sky is going to end up in TNA as well.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm amazed. I would be amazed if he's still in a contract with AEW.
So it's official. Dax versus Okada Wednesday night. Plus, we're going to get the Young Bucks taking on Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal and Thunder Rosa.
Yo. Coming out with the whole headdress.
Could you, Dynamite Kid, could you see him being an all right fit if Sean was to go after him?
Oh, and yeah. NXT? Absolutely. 100%. Right. Shit, you end up giving me a fucking Dynamite Kid versus an Ilya match. And I know we've talked about, or some people said Ilya could sit there and have a match with a great match with a broomstick. That's why they were doubting Trick.
Yeah.
I think that WWE and NXT especially has done really great with bringing in foreign talents and everything like that. That could work and kind of have that style, you know, much like when WWE brought in Malenko, Guerrero, He Who Should Not Be Named, and Saturn and all of that. The Radicals.
Yep. Robin Renegade. Sans the other Renegade. She is a twin, folks.
Yeah.
TK, I don't understand why Deonna Purrazzo and Lady Frost are on Rampage. That match should be on Collision or Dynamite. Again, I would really, I think, what was it? Thunder Rosa versus Deonna was on Rampage. I really think that Dynamite could use a match like this. Like we're seeing WWE put on 3-4 women's matches every show now. Like quality matches too. Like the matches last night got high praise. By the way, someone said we posted a video of the Hurricane Rana by Naomi, and someone said, "Oh, it's just because who it was a big deal." Wait, Yeah, like what is wrong
What
with
is
people?
no shit?
No shit, Sherlock. If it was 2 luchas, I wouldn't have posted it.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. But even then, I almost, I guess, to be an AEW stand with this, if they got to book at least something on Rampage, they can't just book everything on Dynamite. Well, I mean, they should kind of actually. Now that I say this out loud, just keep everything to Dynamite and Collision. But
well, again, I think
Rampage still exists. So you got to still at least have matches. You got to still at least try and draw people in.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's the catch-22. Like people say it all the time, and I've heard some big YouTubers who are advocates of AEW, like, why are they putting this match on Collision? They want you to watch, bro. I thought you were a fan. If this is the best wrestling ever, why wouldn't you tune in? I don't give a fuck about that show. Why not, bro? Why not? Help me understand.
Because it's fake loyalty. As Thunder Rosa right now in control. So many mention of this being, Ken saying, isn't this student against teacher?
A little bit, yeah.
I wouldn't.
And I'm such a big Thunder Rosa fan. I think she looks good tonight. Again, I think if you had a consistent rotation of like Taya Valkyrie, Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, Mariah May has been impressing me in the ring. If you consistently had them in the ring on Dynamite, even Willow, because she is a good baby face, and you were giving them a good amount of time, we were getting 2, maybe let's say 2 to start matches a week that mattered with, we could really go for it. And like I said, come to Double or Nothing, people are talking about Mercedes Moné being that main event. They're going to kill them. They're going to kill them if they do it.
There's so much potential for them, and especially when they have 2 championships and everything, to actually build up their women's division and make it as relevant. But as we've seen, and I think you even said it before perfectly, he can't book the men right. So why do we think he can book the women right?
That's a valid argument.
Well, I would hope so. You made the argument, and I was just reiterating what you said.
So. No, I mean, that's it. Like, if you can't get one, how are you going to get the other? But, I mean, again, I think this all boils down to TK and his inability to delegate. If he could delegate well, maybe things would get better. I mean, again, Triple H isn't producing every women's match. We got Tyson Kidd. You have Bobby Roode back there. You have a list of people. I could be here for the next 10 minutes. Like, they delegate, and everybody fucking rows the boat. And Tony's got to learn that.
Well, they play more than one note. Tony knows one chord, and he can play it really fucking well. And is like that one friend that just learned to play guitar. So I'm gonna show you this one chord I know how to play, and that's the only chord I know how to play. Versus, I'm gonna actually try and go through the fucking whole symphony here.
Absolutely, folks. We are in picture. Thunder Rosa is in control of one of the Renegade sisters. But make sure you get in that chat. We're flirting with 100 still, so be a friend, tell a friend. Let's see if we can get those numbers back up. But we are rolling through. We're not going anywhere. Well, I am. But Rampage is up next, so make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Thank you for making us a part of your Saturday, and see you in a second.
Yeah, well, you pulled up MDB talking about fake loyalty, and I see how that goes. I had to take the shot. But yeah, we're in picture right now. So again, if you haven't hit all the buttons, make sure you do that. And I know we talked about this earlier on in the show and everything, and I'll ask you guys, this is just us, all of that. Do you think that they should switch Rampage to, not even if you need to make it a special thing, but at least you pair it with a collision, you do a 3-hour collision? I mean, I guess that's kind of what I was saying with Dynamite, or we had talked about, but you kind of move it to a permanent slot like this versus it's just this random Friday. It starts after SmackDown, after everybody's kind of wrestled out a little bit and everything. What should they do with Rampage? Because it's been the redheaded stepchild of AEW programming here. As we're back in action as Big Me replace Rampage with Ring of Honor. Facts. Ring of Honor should be AEW's NXT. 100%. It's not deniable at this point. That should be your NXT. That should be your developmental. I would dare say you move it off of having it behind a paywall. You have that, like, right there. You have it on TV regularly. You use that as a way to get up your younger talent. That's where you could have a Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta. We've already seen with Billy Starks. Athena's worked really well over there. A Blake Christian, Nick Wayne, etc. They'd have better luck moving Rampage to YouTube or something. Well, that would be, would that be them moving backwards then to an extent, because they had Dark and Dark Elevation on YouTube? So if they move one of their shows that was on network television and move it to YouTube, would then you're inviting the hyenas to say, well, they're moving backwards. I feel you're not wrong. I just worry. Tony worries about his image when it comes to the wrong shit. I'll say that. He's more worried of he's out there arguing with, egg emoji, I heart WWE 72567 because they said AW sucks, versus worrying about the larger public image and the larger viewership of his show and his company. Rampage should be used like NXT, just young guys showing out and growing. They're doing that with the women's division. The men's division is all over the place. Agreed. And I was kind of saying earlier, I think somebody mentioned it, of you scrap Rampage, you just make Ring of Honor in that same time slot, and you make that your 1 to 2 hour developmental show. You treat it like an NXT. You treat it as your, growth versus Collision, Rampage. Like, Collision wasn't initially, and it's now become Rampage. Has kind of always felt like just Dynamite overrun of the Dynamite afterbirth, as said Renegade Sister taps out to Thunder Rosa out here looking fine. And I'm still surprised that they didn't put the title back on her. I mean, I get, obviously, we've got everything going on with Toni Storm. But, so now she's cutting a promo into the camera here, but Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo versus Toni Storm, all haven't been great, and I really wonder why, because they all should be super talented, but just something's not clicking in this, I feel. Damien letting us know he's 6-0. I agree with Thunder Rosa, whatever she said. Yeah, it's one of those of, too long, didn't read, sorry that happened to you, or so happy that happened to you, didn't read. One of the giveaways for me of AEW is that since I started my react videos, I now struggle to find streamers who do react to AEW stuff at all now. Well, 100%. We're the ones that out there were labeled as AEW haters, and oh my God, they hate this company so much. But even Geekbox right there agreeing with us, or pointing out of, as I've got the Morrisons on my screen here. But the streamers have run away. The content creators have run away from covering AEW. I feel we're a little bit one of the last few that's out here regularly watching AEW, watching Dynamites, watching Collisions, watching Rampages, all of that. Crazy. We've been out here for Battle of the Belts, and they don't even advertise that. We advertise Battle of the Belts more than they do. But yeah, you've lost and now fractured even your core audience, and now you're starting to implode upon that. As I don't know, I believe have it coming up next, as we've got about 20 minutes left in the show. We're getting the Cope Open between Adam Copeland and Kyle O'Reilly, which are we happy with where Kyle O'Reilly has been since even when he was in NXT, when he was out there pairing up with Von Wagner and all that, and he was having the cookouts So now since he's come back, he's not part of the Undisputed Kingdom. He's not part of the Elite. He's not, there's no Bobby Fish. There's no Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly's just kind of doing his thing and just kind of a guy. Are we like, is this better Kyle O'Reilly, or does he need to be with this heel faction? Does he need a cast of characters around him here? Who books Ring of Honor? The same person who books AEW and the same person who books, Dynamite, Collision, all that. It's all Tony Khan. It's all Tony Khan. What do you think Roman agenda is when he returns? Does he beat the family in line, or does he make people? And when do you think we get him versus Cody again? Multiple layers in that question. So I think we're obviously clearly setting up for the Bloodline Civil War. I think even once Roman comes back, we're still going to get that delayed and played out a little bit. I've heard the rumor that come WrestleMania 41, it's going to be The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, People's Championship versus WWE Championship, which give me that at a SummerSlam. Don't do that at a WrestleMania. Don't make that last that long, and even especially with it's a championship that The Rock gave himself. But yeah, I think we've had our fill of Roman versus Cody. I think we need to separate that for a bit, and Roman's got enough to deal with the whole Bloodline Civil War. Christ, we had it last night to where Solo was asking Paul of, do you still talk to Roman? When's the last time you talked to Roman? And then Solo sits there and fesses up of saying, I've talked to him since his, match at Mania. So even allegedly Solo is more in contact with Roman than Heyman is. Look under your last comment. What? Is that like look under the bed? Did a boogeyman? Kyle lost to Strong and now will lose to Edge. Kind of was brought back to take losses in feud matches, I assume. I hope. Yeah, that's the thing is Kyle O'Reilly's kind of halfway become Jobby McJobson. As we've got Hook, who looks like Bummy McBumpson out here. Bro, do they have an advertisement on his beanie? Call 867-5309 out there. Yeah, I've got Hook right now cutting a promo in the streets of New York on Chris Jericho. By the way, Hurricanes beat the Rangers 4-3. They already have so many jobbers in AEW. Kyle doesn't need to be another one. Absolutely. Not at all. He 100% should be up there, but I think he would fit in the Undisputed Kingdom. You could have used that. They needed a shot in the arm, and Kyle O'Reilly could have been that. Even if it's not going to be the biggest thing. But yeah, as on this Wednesday, Hook returns. We're bringing in the Hook. We're finally calling the Hook to get and snatch everything out of here. Not Hook trying to cut a promo. This is awful. I don't think he's super awful on a promo. I just think they've done... Again, he's a guy that if he was on the other brand on a Tuesday, be a whole different scenario, I feel. Hook facing Jericho does nothing for him. It didn't to begin with, and it still won't. Hook is lame. He has skinny bird legs. Not a tough guy. Not a real man. I like this. Exactly, KJ. He's even winning points even when he's not here. Absolutely. AEW World Championship Eliminator match this Wednesday. Swerve Strickland versus Brian Cage. So I was halfway there of saying that. And on Collision, we're going to get Will Ospreay versus Shane Taylor. Hey, so we got the match we should have gotten tonight. And then we're getting, just because of an Eliminator match again, which I'm going to even hate those, of Brian Cage versus Swerve Strickland. Bro's out here in the Calgary Flames gear. 100% it is. As I've got the Rated R Superstar Adam Copeland coming out right now. And I've got the Rated R Superstar of the stream right now.
Right. No, so we're going to get a title, an IC title match between Okada and Dax. So it's a title match. He jumps right to the front of the line. Dax will get a title match. And then, yeah, like I heard you talking about the Eliminator match. Again, why is there an Eliminator match? You already have a challenger for Double or Nothing.
Does Swerve's championship reign is dead in the water?
He feels like
it's starting to fucking bloat and, fester at this point, I feel. It's already been that dead.
Pac versus Morrison? Is that happening?
There was a Morrison. The Morrisons, Taya and John, had a backstage segment. I missed what they said. That could be a thing. But
and why is
you out here catching points being corrected even when you weren't here, sir?
Is it odd that Ospreay's having another collision match with another Ring of Honor talent?
I'm starting to wonder, can we just say, question what's right with this versus questioning what's odd? Because that seems to be the easier and shorter thing to do.
Right. And here comes Kyle O'Reilly. Is it
so I asked this while you were on your pause
okay.
and everything. And I'll ask this before I go on mine. Has Kyle just kind of fallen flat, even going back to when he was in NXT and he was out there with the Von Wagner's skin having cookouts?
That was the worst.
But that's the thing is, I don't think he's recovered from that. Like he should be in the Undisputed Kingdom. Something here. He needs people around him. He needs some sort of build. Like he's kind of just a guy instead of the guy.
Yeah, his return was a wet fart. It was really fucking awful. And it didn't work. It didn't make sense. He returns during like a Undisputed Kingdom moment, and then you're like, okay, so he's gonna kind of hang out with his buddies or feud with his buddies, and that just went by the wayside. Like it's gone, it's over, it's sayonara.
You couldn't have done Kyle versus Roddy at Double or Nothing and said we're gonna get Ospreay versus Roddy. There's just there's a whole lot of wet farts going on here.
Yeah, no, it was anticlimactic, his return. It's unfortunate because I think there is some talent there, but again, without a conceivable angle but the crowd in Canada is losing its mind for the two Canadian boys. I will say that.
Kyle's Canadian?
Vancouver, or outside of Vancouver.
Oh.
He's a BC boy. Yep.
There you go. So that explains a lot.
This is why this match is happening.
Kyle works. He just needs something behind him, and that's the thing is they just have predominantly left him off to his own fucking will.
Yeah.
And that alone does not work. Kyle O'Reilly on his own with no backing does not work.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, again, he's great as a member of the Undisputed Era. He's a talented wrestler, but even in Ring of Honor, he wasn't known as a real big talker, the most charismatic guy. But we should get a good match between these two particularly. But yeah, I mean, again, we were excited. Oh my God, he's back. He's been gone. We weren't sure if he was going to come back. He's here. But then you don't really get him into an angle or a rivalry that matters. And we're just like, okay, he's here. Just another guy.
Right. Well, I'm going to be just another guy, and I'll be right back here.
There you go. Nick taking a pause for the cause, folks. We got the main event. Adam Copeland taking on Kyle O'Reilly. So we will put that in the chat real quick if I can figure my life out. But let me know who you're taking. This one should be interesting. Oh. Big Kyle chance in the arena right now. Dun, dun. We'll see how everybody votes on that one. But most excited for Cage versus Swerve or Cody versus Paul? Cody versus Paul. Swerve versus Cage is not great. I don't like doing an eliminator match where you already have a rival. Why would Brian Cage get an eliminator match at this juncture? It almost sets us up to know 100%. I know some of the faithful out there will say WWE is predictable, but you're setting things like this up that become predictable because Cage isn't going to be the number one contender because we have a number one contender. Kyle reminds me of Greg Heffley. Shane Thick Thighs Taylor versus Ospreay. Cool. Again, I find it, and I'll take you guys, we got a bunch of people here in the chat. Let me know, like, how do you feel about it? Like, why are we getting so much Ospreay on the Saturday show? Oh, two. Nice start to this match, though, folks. LOL. Who voted for... People like to be funny, man. Online polls are ridiculous. Based on online polls, the people that watch and vote on a lot of our polls hate wrestling. It's the funniest shit. He's like a challenger stepping stone of any group he's in. Yeah, 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. He sleeps in a dumpster next to a maple syrup factory. He's sticky. Pause. Kyle's got a side headlock. Not quite sure what we're doing here. Oh, we got him up. There you go. Holding on. I don't like Swerve in an eliminator match. First Fletcher and now Brian Cage. You're making your star attraction wrestle too much and to non-main eventers. 100%. And not even in the main event spot. Swerve at no point has been highlighted like a main event superstar as champion. It's an issue. It really is an issue. You made a big deal about Swerve winning this belt and being the first African-American to win the AEW title. You talk about this is epic and he's earned it. Then make him feel like he's earned it. Make us feel like he's special. That, he doesn't just fight anybody and everybody randomly. And again, focus on the story you're trying to tell. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. This way we can get invested in the champion taking on a challenger. When you have all this other, like, it looks like right now, if you were to take somebody who wasn't watching AEW and ask them to watch a couple shows, what you would think is that Swerve is taking on Brian Cage at Double or Nothing, not the other Brian, not the other Cage, Christian. Ooh, gutbuster. Could have just been a regular match. Yeah, well, regular matches are few and far between, unfortunately. We don't get enough of those. Yeah, Is Brian Keith in action on Rampage? I think so, Damien. Another guy. We were pumped that they signed him, and we haven't seen much of him outside of Rampage matches. Young Bucks have overshadowed Swerve, and not in a good way, Smile Mark. Tonight's collision has been boring so far outside of Danielson and Claudio versus Top Flight and Will Ospreay versus Lee. And again, you know what? I don't mind those matches. I just didn't. I wasn't that invested in much. Got that one, I think. Are we supposed to forget that Brian Cage lost to Hook a few in an FTW match? Now he has a chance for the world belt. Yeah, Richard, again, continuity, consistency. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want in the booking. And again, for me, it's a bit of a struggle because I understand that you need to break Swerve away. I was a big advocate. Break Swerve away from the Mogul Embassy. And you could have done that at any time. But now you set up a match for Double or Nothing with Cage out of nowhere. And then he feuds with his. So you're telling two stories at the same time. But the story that's getting neglected is the battle for the world title. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys. Notice all the injuries in wrestling currently seems like more than normal. Yeah, definitely been a bigger influx of injuries. I don't even know. I mean, sometimes I say my concern with sometimes with AEW is that they're not in the ring enough. So if you haven't had a wrestling match in 5 weeks and you get in there, is your timing off? WWE, they're more consistently in the ring. Is it the opposite argument? Are they, risking too much? But yeah, a big influx of injuries. I don't know. It's interesting. Tonight's I got that one. Wait, did Kyle get a haircut? He looks less homeless now. He's upgraded the studio apartment. Maybe a little bit. I thought it was just wet. I didn't catch it. I'll double check, Boston. I'll double check. We are in picture, folks. I'm getting a Chicago style Little Caesars commercial. And right now, Adam Copeland is all over Kyle O'Reilly in picture. Think they are showing Ospreay like a flag because WWE and Triple H may have mentioned him once. May have mentioned him. They didn't mention him by name. They might have alluded to him. But then why not have him really show up and show out and be a big deal on Dynamite each week? You know what I mean? And again, it doesn't mean he has to go after Swerve, but could he not do something else? Do you not have other, like, if he was in a feud with like a Moxley or another company big name? Yeah, I'm actually hard pressed to find one. Joe, maybe something cool to keep him relevant, but on Dynamite. Him fighting Lee on a Saturday is not going to help you sell tickets. Him fighting Lee or Shane on a Saturday is not going to boost ratings on Collision. We love Ospreay. We want Ospreay to do well. We want him to succeed. I think he could be the face of this company, especially if they ever do lose MJF. But you got to make it feel like that. And right now, he's just another guy. This might be a hot take, but is Trick? I don't know what that. Gamer, nah. He's in the room rent status right now. Halfway house makes sense. Shouldn't Christian be pissed? Cage is in an eliminator match, and if Cage wins, well, why didn't Cage have to have an eliminator match? Why did Cage get a match handed to him? Christian, that is, and Brian has to have this eliminator match, and why would it be happening all at the same time? So you're not wrong. Again, not to be picky, it's obvious shit. NXT champion been spotlighted better than Swerve, 100%. That's undeniable, Kyle. UFC main event about to begin. Ooh, tempting. I got another. Let me see. See if I can pull that up while we're here. TK can't wait to get a belt off him. Yeah, maybe. My favorite match of the night was Dax Harwood versus Dynamite Kid. It was a good match, and this match has been good. Don't get me wrong. Again, Tony gives us a really not the best of shows and not the best quality of matches, not the best quality of storytelling, but in there we get two half-decent matches just out of fluke. So I said earlier, anybody's little cousin could put some of these matches together and the athletes turn it out. I don't know how much credit Tony gets for that. That's because Booker T is behind Roxanne Perez. I don't know what that's in response to. But right now we got a crossface. Kyle gets to the bottom rope. It's a lack of character development. That's why should I care about these wrestlers? 100%. It's my mark. 100%. And I want to. And I think Tony relies on past reputation. Like, Adam Copeland's a big deal. We don't have to tell you why, and we don't have to sell him as why when he's on the show. You should know that he's a big deal. Okada's a big deal. Ospreay's a big deal. Sasha's a big deal. But you don't, I'm not really going to sell you on what a big deal they are. You're not developing. You're not walking the walk. You're just talking the talk. And that's it. And half the time your talk don't make any sense. We get another gut buster, but we get the springboard lariat. He had to hold up a second there as Edge was getting to his feet. What's with heavy booking of Danielson? They've got 5 hours of TV, but feel like it's the same names. That's another big concern for me. And again, when you have really talented people that you could be utilizing, and then I got to put up with long Jericho matches, long Jericho segments, overusing like the Mogul Embassy. We always see Top Flight a bunch. Orange Cassidy, we never not see Orange Cassidy. Like, that's the question, is if you keep bragging about this inflated roster that you can't find TV time for, spread it out, man. O'Reilly again to his feet. Edge in the corner. Big forearm. Did you see the pointed head on the UFC fighter? Holy shit. No, I missed it. Okay, I'm pulling up the UFC. Congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes who saved their season tonight. Pausing. That's what we do. Next week, AEW Collision is taped. All right, okay. Copeland gets to the rope, gets out of the submission now. Both men, crowd is completely into it. Good match, guys. As I guess they're between the first and second round. WWE wrestlers might be wrestling too much while AEW wrestlers too long or execute too many moves. That's one of the things, Richard, for sure, is if every match MJF talked about it, right? Like if you're coming off the top and doing crazy shit every single match, eventually you're going to get clipped. It's like playing in traffic. Eventually a car is going to catch you. You're only going to get to play chicken so long. As both men on the apron, they had the Job Squad turn on Swerve so Swerve could have matches to waste time. I don't want to waste time, Bash. I want the shit we're getting on TV to mean something. And if that means Swerve goes a couple weeks without a match, therefore the next time he has a match, it feels a little special, I'm okay with that. Big knee from the top. Copeland kicks out of 2. Hurricanes win. Yes, they did, Ken. I think it's the match intensity. The moves are being done by most recently. And I do feel like a lot of the AEW ones are coming off of inexperience and just winging it. And, you know, it's a lot of high risk, little reward, doing real big spots on shows and in places that don't really need it. But if you're overdoing it, you're eventually, again, you run the risk. And the more you do it, the exponentially see that risk climb. And I mean, that's the hard part about being a wrestler. I commend them for doing it. I couldn't do it. I have to be careful not to oversaturate Ospreay. His matches should be. I agree. And back-to-back weeks fighting nobodies on Collision is not making him feel like the superstar that he is. This is the guy that automatically assumed Triple H was talking about him. He's such a big deal. He is going to be the face of your company if he isn't already. Putting him against Lee this week, Shane next week, it's not doing it. Not doing it. As the men are going back and forth, miss the spear, roll up into a choke. Adam Copeland kicks out. KJ, I think that's a done deal already as far as MJF goes. As far as MJF leaving? Yeah, it could be. Sooner, I mean, it might not be sooner than later, but I think the day comes. You're going to hear that music. And MJF strikes me as the guy that wants that big stage. I mean, he likes, I'm the face of AEW, da-da-da-da-da. That's great. Tony's going to pay me good money for a couple years. But if MJF was that guy that if I could perform in front of 2,000 people, or if I could perform in front of 50,000, he's taking the 50. And plus, I think he wants to get tapped into that movie world. Speaking of wanting to be tapped into that movie world.
Stuff on that, my guy. Yeah, no tapping. Pause.
Tappy.
Tapperoo.
Tap it in.
Has Tony Khan taken Swerve Strickland's spot as the biggest babyface in AEW?
No.
No, I'm not saying literally. I'm saying have they booked it that way?
Kind of. I see what you're getting at. I think they fall short here because, like I said, we needed follow-up from Tony Khan. Tony Khan should have continued. Look, whether you love or hate the storyline, if now that you're in it, do it. So if you're going to show up when they're in Winnipeg and saying, "Hi guys, I can't do the show," then you better have an announcement this Wednesday about something. "Hi guys, I'm getting better, but I still can't be there. But Kenny Omega is going to be in the main event. See you later." Something. You have to continue. So to me, what the saving grace for Swerve is, at least we're getting Swerve.
I mean,
That's
shit.
that's the only
I
difference.
mean, okay. Like, well, at least he's got something. He's your fucking world champion.
Yeah.
That, like, you could have had a back and forth of, you could have had Tony shows up and he's saying, well, despite what the Young Bucks said, due to clause B in chapter 7 of fucking contract or whatever, that Bryan Danielson has as much say or what have you, have this whole power struggle back and forth. If you can't have Tony physically there to do it, have a representation of Tony there and have that. But
Yeah,
I still think it's taken the babyface shine away from what should be your big babyface champion.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I think we talk about missed opportunities. If Tony Khan would have appointed Danielson, Danielson is in charge of the show tonight in my absence. I am pulling rank. This is my company. Danielson's in charge of the show. Then the Bucks and the Elite show up. Oh, wow, they got him. The crowd's on their feet, man. Like, this is cooking.
This is about to be the biggest lead-in for Rampage right now, I feel.
It is cooking.
Yeah, because it's technically, well, it's technically right now Rampage that we're watching. We've crossed that time threshold.
Adam Copeland getting up. But yeah, Nick, if you had Danielson trying to run the show, then the Elite show up and shit on Danielson because Danielson's in that position. Now we have a reason for Danielson to join Team Elite. And you explain Tony's absence. I can't be there because these assholes beat me up. And now we got beef. And now Danielson's going to help FTR. Who else will help them? Now we get in a brawl. Or maybe, Eddie Kingston's in catering and they come back and dump his fucking lunch into his lap. Spill his burger. I was
going to eat that cookie.
Yeah, definitely a reason for Eddie Kingston to beat somebody up. I know I would.
You're going to finish that cornbread.
Right. Big spear. The crowd is booing Adam Copeland.
As he gets the 3.
Great match.
I wasn't here for enough of it to say yay or nay. But the whole thing with the Tony Khan, the Elite story, it feels like they're just giving us the Cliff Notes version versus actually reading out the chapters.
Yep. Again,
they're giving us the high moments and everything without fleshing anything out as to why I should give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, then I think that's the lack of experience, but you have people around you that do know better. And it seems like the people that do know better are too afraid of the paycheck being cut off to speak up.
Yeah, because those who speak up get cut or get fired or get pushed out.
Or just get ignored, right? Get ghosted.
Yeah, you now, congratulations. Welcome to doing job matches on Ring of Honor now.
Dear Tony, I wrote you and you still ain't calling.
Facts. We could sit there and come through a whole list of people on that roster that are doing that.
KJ, maybe MJF and Starks debut in WWE at the same time. You never know.
Bold strategy gotten, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I will. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Get out. Derek Lewis lands a bomb. Sorry, side note.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you fucking going on about?
It's over.
How are you even there? Oh, I'm behind. That's why.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I ruin it? Shit.
I'm about to watch that. You talk to the people. I'm about to watch this. You talk to people. I've got the start.
Derek Lewis. Oh, off come the shorts. His balls are hot, bro.
I still like where Ronda Rousey's fun ass.
So we're starting Rampage with Copeland and Cobb, but what just happened there?
Bro, you can't do that to me when you're like, pay attention.
I'm all over the place, folks. There's lots happening. A weird moment with Riley and Adam Copeland. The fans were legit booing, but Derek Lewis just fucking fed him his dinner.
Yeah, versus Despacito over here. And I say that because it's Nacimiento. I hope I said that close to right.
Not my favorite.
He gave him literally, that wasn't even that hard of a shot.
Yeah, but the next 3 were.
Oh, well, yeah, he's just beating the brakes off this fucking man after that because he's just holding on to an ankle, just hoping to survive. But that one shot wasn't even like a 2-piece Minnesota on the side.
Man. He ducked a little and he ate it on like the temple and it just buckled his knees. Watch. Boom! Oh, there it goes. His
Did
legs.
you hear the rumors that Derek Lewis is in talks with WWE, by the way?
I could see he's got the personality for it. Man.
Bro, he's gonna just cut a promo in his fucking drawers and my balls were hot.
No, wait, Cesaro seems a little miffed at Brian.
That's what I thought at the end of with why he left.
Why he walked, which was okay, fine. Okay.
Right.
Then they should have had Brian say, like, where you going, bro? Or something like that. Like then you want
acknowledge it.
Yeah. Derek Lewis mooning the crowd.
Waiting for them to show the replay here.
Yeah, he caught him like in the side of the head, and he turned his legs into Kraft dinner. He was fucking noodled real quick.
Yeah, he caught him right with a temple shot and everything, and just
he just started like
put him on Dream Street.
Looked like Bambi on ice. The legs just started kicking.
Yeah, that's a temple top of the head shot, and just fucking weeble wobble legs.
Yeah, gave us the running man before he got hit with 3 more or 6 more. I don't know what it was.
Well, he just grabbed at an ankle and then just proceeded to get his head pounded in. Who do you think Cody's SummerSlam match will be?
This is sorry, didn't mean to interrupt there, but Cesaro's dejected. He's upset, and he wants nothing to do with the rivalry between AEW and the Elite.
You couldn't tell me that you could have given Trent a fucking twisted version of this or anything, like a darker entrance, all of that.
Trent should come out to Fortunate Son.
Well, he's out here coming to the fucking Best Friends fucking intro, which just literally looks like stock AI footage of like puppies, children, happiness.
Kyle pointed out that Edge had blood coming out of his mouth. I saw that, and Edge looked worried. The guys on commentary are selling it's Copeland going to forfeit the title. Yeah, it was weird. Like out of nowhere, Edge wiped his mouth and he had blood, and then they kind of like he looked frightened. They stared at each other, and then we went away. As here comes Dalton Castle.
Shout out Beefy Boy there in the front. Man's got them
the exact same thing.
2XL fucking, loincloth trunks there.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be Trent Beretta versus Dalton Castle. Oh, I forgot to close the poll. I'm
Bro, I'm so glad this is a fucking hour show. I can't do much more of this shit. Like, all due respect, what the flying fuck?
That's enough out of you, Boston.
He hasn't been the same since Toronto lost.
No. Britt Baker is working with DDP currently. Double? No, just kidding.
Whoa.
I have been suspect. What is up?
I don't know.
That's how the Bucks win Anarchy in the Arena. Cesaro attacks Kingston and Danielson. Set it up. You might not be wrong, Daniel. I said it was going to be Hangman Page, but could be Cesaro.
Do we need to add more to this Elite?
I thought maybe they would add Adam Page because he's the last kind of OG that's out there that's unaccounted for, and they could have, changed their mind about suspending. Well, they could have changed their mind.
Yeah, he got suspended. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Javon. Oh my God, sub KJ and Nick. I hear that some people in the back are not happy with AEW and some wrestlers is about to leave. Any name who? I don't. Again, rumors, speculation. Nick
Starks,
Wardlow, the House of Black, but apparently they're under contract for another couple years. Miro,
allegedly. Well, fuck. Miro's gonna leave. I just don't know if WWE's where he lands.
You
I
don't
think
think
he
so? You
might
don't
be
think they're
more
better to take him
impact,
back?
if anything. Yeah.
Oh,
They already done it with him, and I don't think he wants to, like, he wants just his own fucking schedule, his own vibe. He wants to just kind of call his shots. And I do dare ask this: is Miro as valuable to WWE without Lana as he was when he had Lana?
two answers. One, they said they'd stay friends, so maybe there's hope that they could still work together. Two, yeah, I think so. I think Miro's got a lot that he can bring to the table. He was better. He was better with the vaudevillain than he was with fucking her. Right?
Oh
Every
yeah, when you had Rusev Day, yeah, but he works in TNA. You can run back Rusev Day. Just call it Miro Day.
right. Enter Key in arena match. That gimmick match is dead. And Anarchy. Enter Key in the arena match. Look, listen, we don't get enough credit sometimes at what kind of fucking Wheel of Fortune players me and Nick are trying to read some of these content.
Right, code breakers.
Can I buy a fucking vowel? The match is dead, and they should be the last time they ever have it. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Like, I'm not like, oh yes, Anarchy in the arena.
You've overrun a gimmick. You've ran a gimmick into the fucking ground. And that's why I notice how I think in the past year there has been no Hell in a Cell match in WWE.
Nope.
You have ran the gimmick into the ground. And so there is no way to go beyond that. And AEW just seems to do that in double time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's yeah, like if there was some other cool way to get to this, but again, we'll see. Maybe it's a fun match. I know some marks out there are going to be like, this is 12 stars. It's the coolest shit ever. Everyone bled. 3 of them are concussed and can't work for a month. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I maybe I'm just getting too old, but
it could be a good match. There's just not enough build and enough reasoning behind it. Like we've now broken down literally fucking competitor by competitor as to why I should give a shit if they're involved in this match. That's the thing is, on the whole, in a principle, this could work, but it's everything that's been built up to it that has literally just been missing, lacking, non-existent, irrelevant, inconsistent. That's the thing that makes this insufferable.
yeah, 100%. And again, it's I feel like I almost need to put it on a t-shirt, but like word it differently. But I've said it a million times. Tony Khan has all the ingredients to bang out a fucking stellar meal, a Gordon Ramsay 5-star fucking Michelin, just gorgeous meal. And he just can't figure out how to cook. And he can't cook. He either burns it, he undercooks it, he puts it in the wrong order, shit's not fucking going well. And that's what it is. Everyone's right when they say, "Oh my God, AEW all the talent, AEW, the potential dream matches, AEW the alternative." It's just these little details that are stopping it from being relevant and getting over with a more common wrestling fan.
He has the capability of being a 5-star chef, but still burns the grilled cheese.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Like it's baffling to me. Of like, okay, the angle, the idea, the angle. And listen, I will say this out loud, and I said it on Wednesday. Jack Perry, out of everybody, bad or good in this story, Jack Perry's getting over the most with me. Yes, he's a little pipsqueak, but he kind of reminds me of the Dom Mysterio, where if he just ran his mouth and had a mommy as a heater, maybe Anna Jay, that it would work for him because he is this arrogant Beverly Hills spoiled fucking brat. So when he digs into it, I'm like, okay, like out of everybody, Okada, the Bucks, FTR, I think Jack Perry's given some of the best promos in the whole situation.
He's the only one that has a legitimate gripe in this entire situation. That's the thing. Is the Bucks have nothing to really bitch about, nothing to be bad about, no justification for their fucking character. Same thing with Okada. Jack Perry's the only one that has any sort of justification, any sort of reasoning. So his shit hits a little bit different because there's actually back to it. There's something backing what he's saying versus just we look like Las Vegas street performers that are out here trying to get $5 so we can get a fucking fix.
Right. Yeah, you're not wrong. And I mean, again, like it's from a place of hope. Like, I want Double or Nothing to kill. I want things to make sense. All right. So you give us a new champion. I support that. We give you all the flowers. For the people that say you guys just pick on AEW. No, like they did a good job with giving Swerve the belt. Dynasty was a good pay-per-view. And then it's just between the pay-per-views just lack interest, lack depth, lack sensibility, lack maturity, lack. All
Filled
of it.
with a bunch of lackeys. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Fucking lacking. Thoughts on Cody Rhodes SummerSlam match? And I've heard reports on Roman is back before SummerSlam and one not till Rumble. In your guys' opinion, when is the ideal perfect return?
When the situation fits.
I think Roman will be back leading into SummerSlam. So we'll get Saudi out of the way, probably get Money in the Bank out of the way, let Solo and the new bloodline really run through. We've started to bring Roman up again. We didn't really talk about him much. And like this week, last night, we talked about him even more. By the way, Castle firing up. The crowd is going nuts for Dalton. This is a guy
you
that
say the crowd is going nuts. I see fucking 4 people.
Oh, well,
yeah, bro, yeah.
It's like 400. That's like 100%.
Out of the 400 people there,
they were loud as they could be. Cody Rhodes going into SummerSlam is interesting because I can't see them running back Jake Paul. Jake Paul should be defending the U.S. title in Cleveland. So what do you think? Is it Cody Rock SummerSlam?
Well, have you heard the rumors that allegedly it's going to be Cody, or he's pitching for not Cody pitching, but for it to be Dwayne versus Cody at WrestleMania 41 of world title versus People's Champ title?
Yes, I have heard that. Oh,
fucking stupid and far too long.
Well,
I would hope that would be what?
Well, winning the People's title is like winning the FTW title. It doesn't fucking matter.
I would still say it's somehow more relevant.
Well, Nick and Dwayne.
But it's no, I'm not. I think that should be a match that happens at SummerSlam. I think especially even you keep Roman and Cody as far away as possible for a while right now. They don't need to be anywhere near each other. When Roman comes back, he's solely focused on the bloodline civil war.
Yeah. I'm with you on that 100%, my guy.
I think you maybe get Rock goes after the world title, and that could be what sets up. Because I think we still ultimately, I wanted Cody versus Rock going into the Roman thing and all of that and leading up to WrestleMania. I don't know if I want that so much post-Mania. I still want more a Rock Roman thing, and I want that before I get a Cody Rock thing now.
Yeah. Trent Beretta is just poking the eyes out of Dalton Castle. I'm not sure. Oh, the match is still going on. I saw a pile driver. I assume that was the end of the match. What a move. I haven't seen that done too often.
What, do you take a pile driver on the ring steps and then just
walk
I've seen
that a lot.
And just yeah.
No, the yanking of the arm and it smashing his face off the turnbuckle, like the brace.
Right. But yeah. You mentioned the pile driver on the ring steps. Do we want to talk about this while
we're about to get
is existing?
Oh, so Trent Beretta using like Hell's Gate.
As he's got chalk written on his armband. I just noticed that.
Yes. Yeah, see, Todd's with you. He thinks Miro needs Lana. But the whole gimmick with Miro and Lana was she's with other men. That's the whole shtick. Right, he was a cuck.
They didn't give a cuck about that.
Cuck do. AEW is not the place for any heavyweight. They don't book the big men well. We watched
not even in the Meat Palooza.
No.
Wardlow.
We're going to Deonna Purrazzo.
Hobbs, Job. Hey.
So Deanna is heel, if anybody's curious.
Are you sure? Or is she just a member of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? Because I
She's
feel like it's a little bit more like that right now. All the denims.
She's in Canada after all.
We're taking after a good old Bret Hart.
So Deanna versus Lady Frost on Rampage.
Lady Frost is somebody in this company that deserves a bit more her flowers. Should be featured more, I feel, on a Dynamite, etc. Should be much more of a contender in this division.
She's somebody that if you gave her matches, she would turn out good matches. And she really can do that. I have no idea. Again, she shows up once every 5-6 months and does a job. That's it. That's all we've gotten from this lady. Some Ring of Honor stuff, I think.
Yeah, but she was great in Impact and all of that. Now it just pretty much seems of whenever AEW does a Canadian tour is when they happen to book her.
Yeah, it's like we're going to Canada. Like, oh, send all the people we don't usually use.
Send all the Canadians here. Bring out the Canadians.
Yeah. Speaking of that, where's Ethan Page?
No longer with the company, sir.
I was wondering, like, are we going to see him pop up somewhere?
Well, last I knew, he was showing up at Wrestling Revolver.
Yes.
That's the last I knew.
Right. Isn't there already too much anarchy in AEW to begin with?
Everything's great. What are you talking about? Thanks, guys.
I thought you put the neck brace back on there for a second.
I mean, I
can. Anarchy in the arena can be used to blow off a feud, not start one. Facts. And we saw that recently, dude. We saw the Taven OC hardcore anything goes match to be followed up with a title match, which was straight up 101. We saw a parking lot brawl with Trent to be followed up with the payoff of a regular match. Like, we're working backwards. You don't start with the payoff match and work your way down to the simple match.
Well, when you're a simple man, you work yourself to the simple match. I am just a simple man.
Right. See, I feel they set the elite angle up too fast. I think they should have bled it out a little bit longer.
Ding.
See, go ahead, because I know
I was just saying ding.
Bendy. So here's my theory on this whole thing. Punk does that interview with Ario, and instantly that's why this feels so rushed. They had to go. They had, we'll use the footage. We'll fuck him. We'll show the world. And then that's what this is all spun from. So that's why I think, because they were so reactionary and so focused on Punk and the situation, and they thought they were going to get one over on everybody, they painted themselves into a corner where they're like, all right, now here's everything else we were going to do. Like you said, they're skipping chapters now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that's such a fucking childish way to go about this and everything. Like, it shows a difference in levels of maturity, because we know this from just being adults, and especially even content creators, all of that. Reactionary shit is not, it's better to be in front of something or to just go your own path instead of just constantly having to respond to somebody else's shit and everything. No, just do you, boo-boo. Stay in your fucking lane. Do the best you can do. Why are you responding to some shit to somebody that doesn't work for you? You're doing nothing. They did nothing in that initial situation outside of validate him, and they've managed to backslide into Jungle Boy getting over, to Jack Perry getting over with this. Beyond the rest of this is all fucking cannon fodder. And you've made your owner's dad, you're now your two EVPs, your Kazuchika Okada, your big fucking free agent signing, all cannon fodder to CM Punk and Jack Perry's feud still going on.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I mean, again, it becomes so convoluted and so twisted and so wrapped around itself where it's not clear what we're getting, right? Like, it's not clear.
Are you surprised that there's been no even follow-up or no mention about Shad Khan showing up or anything like that? That you don't bring up that, he who comes from mountain upon high came down and even was showing up at your show and everything like that. There's been no even mention, no follow-up, nothing said about that.
Right? It's here comes the bounty hunter.
Brian Keith coming out right now. The show is ran by a child. Yes, a grown man child. Absolutely, Lee. I'm glad your last name is Major because for a half a second I saw the M and the A and thought, or I saw at least the M and thought it was going to be Moriarty. Just instantly, as soon as he got backstage, this show's run by a fucking child. Brian Keith for the win. I don't know why, but that Rush promo kind of felt corny.
The package.
I missed that we got one.
Yeah, we just got a Roosh package. So they're bringing Roosh back. I guess he's been injured. So I will give them at least the credit.
What bushwhacker is this that Brian Keith's fighting?
That is Drake. They're still at the company.
Again, it's just bring out the Canadians. Bring out the Canadians.
I don't even think he looks Canadian. Jesus Christ.
He looks like a fucking bushwhacker just on.
Was he not?
I don't want to say steroids, but he's eating all the Vegemite.
He was the one half of the workhorseman that didn't get released.
I'm all sorts of fucked up with that.
Brian Keith and his poncho. Luke Perry is on New Japan. Luke Perry? Oh, back from the dead.
All right. He has risen.
They keep showing the Rush video packages, but when will they finally push him? I don't know. Remember, we got the weird kidnapping scenario that never amounted to shit.
They had the whole Los Ingobernables thing, and it just kind of went sawed off.
Ingobernables. And again, the guy's whole gimmick is I use the electrical cords from around the ringside to strangle people.
Right, but I disqualify myself in my own matches unnecessarily because that is how I win.
Damn me, JD Drake, yeah. Got the same body type. Yeah, facts. He looks like my uncle.
You said it.
He does. With a barrel on him. Big chop, though. Brian Keith for the win. This is a Ring of Honor match. Luke Perry has risen. She's Beverly Hills 90 Tokyo. What?
9021 Tokyo.
Yeah.
Big trouble in Little Tokyo.
Yeah, right. JD Drake is not Canadian, told you. He just looks like one. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm good with it.
Well, ask the Canadian.
I'm good with it.
He's an honorary Canadian. He fucking Andre Hogan slammed JD Drake is what Brian Keith just did.
Yeah, and sold it. I like that Keith sold it, man. I like Keith a lot. I know you're a big fan too.
I like Keith, but I don't like that fucking spot. Like this. That's not a fucking Andre spot. There. He's not that fucking big that we've got to fucking slam him like that. 3 count.
What an awkward cutter that was. Oh, don't say that. Don't. I like JD Drake, believe it or not. I mean, I think he's all right. He's a vet. I mean, he's been around for a hot minute. I feel like he's been in this company forever. Remember, he was part of the Wingman.
Do you take JD Drake as Canadian instead of the other Drake? Because right now he's catching him fucking slamming too. Oh, we have Copeland behind prop barbed wire barricade. Like if you move 2 steps to the right, sir.
I just survived the war. What? Malachi Black. There you go.
So now he's calling out Malachi. So
what should have happened? I'm good with this. I've said that before.
How do you buy? Do you buy into the theory that the House of Black is just enacting Rhea's revenge because of the whole Judgment Day before of Damian, Rhea, and Copeland?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong, MDB. It's funny as shit. Right? He looks like older Kevin Owens. He does. He looks like he's related to me, Kevin Owens.
Shane's Kevin Owens.
Right? It'd be like the little Russian dolls, but like chubby Canadians of like me, KO, Drake.
Well, it's like the Pokemon evolution of, are you like Raichu? Like, are you Charmander? Or are you Charizard? Or are you Charmeleon? Wartortle.
I'm a Squirtle. Here comes Diana.
Whoa. Talking about transitions. At least she lost the denim. But the Virtuosa, I love me some.
I don't know how if you could wrestle in too much denim, bro. It's not a good thing.
Ask Canyon. I love the Virtuosa. Has she fallen on her face and or her arse once she went to AEW?
Yeah.
Like, even she was better presented, better booked, came across 10 times better in TNA than here.
She is another one of a long list of people who have come into the company and fizzled out. Somehow Tony Khan effectively cools off every new exciting talent he brings in. Because here she is on a Saturday night Rampage fighting Lady Frost and not in something important. You could have saved yourself a shit ton of money and given TV time to somebody like Deonna Purrazzo instead of bringing in Mercedes Moné.
Well, and even then, this could be a fantastic match if you fucking built it up. But yeah, I saw that. Oh, why is Brian Keith wearing high-waisted granny chaps? Oh, I was going to laugh at this one. Yeah. JD ate 100 chicken nuggets and never drew a dime. Spent all backstage and catering and never drew a dime. Right. But Lady Frost versus Deonna, it's a fucking TNA main event on a weekly show, at least, if not almost upper on a pay-per-view here. But this could be great if you presented them worth a fuck. But Deonna has just had bad matches in AEW since she's shown up, and Lady Frost is only used when they go on a Canadian tour.
And and again, we saw the same thing with Taya Valkyrie. She came in, had a couple matches. The internet fans got mad at her because she had a shitty match with Britt, and then poof. When was the last time you saw Taya?
When's the last time you saw Britt?
Well, Britt apparently is going to DDP.
Adam Cole might want to investigate that.
That was nice. So we got heel Deonna, by the way. Deonna got on that crushed velvet. Richard yawning, I'm assuming at Rampage, not us.
Oh, trust me, my guy. I'm out here struggling.
What do you think of the Double or Nothing cards so far? Not bad on paper so far.
Hold on. All right, let me pull this up.
Hold up.
Say that. Can make me the Nate Dogg out here.
Hold up. You got hold up.
We gonna rock it till the wheels fall off. Hold up.
Smoke weed every day.
You had to wait, 2 minutes after the fucking song to hear that part.
I want some wooing. If anyone ever has wooings, I want to know. And someone earlier said, after this, we're all going out to pizza with Ric Flair. If I did not acknowledge that comment, good comment. Hilarious. This whole this whole Ric Flair pizza drama is amazing. Nick Dogg greater than Nate Dogg.
Hold up.
Rest in peace to a legend. Remember, there was a good 2 years where every single song was a feature with Nate Dogg.
Bro, 100%. The man was the king of hooks before T-Pain. 100%, because even, consider this an invitation to my gangster nation. No. Again, Nate Dogg, Warren G, all of that. But
yes,
I was gonna Double or Nothing card.
Yes.
So
regular
Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. Roderick Cuthbert Strong taking on William Ospreay for the AEW International Championship. Tony Storm
should be a
versus Serena Deeb for the Women's Championship. Swerve versus Christian for the World Championship, and then the Anarchy in the Arena match. So on paper, that's great to you.
I didn't. Maybe great strong. Okay. When you say it out loud back to me, I'm not excited for Anarchy in the Arena. I think Serena Deeb and Tony could be really good. Willow and Sasha is going to under-deliver 100%. And I will apologize that night when we're here live if I'm wrong. Ospreay and Roddy are going to cook, though. I think Christian and Swerve could give us a good match, but I'm worried that it's going to be too fucking overbooked.
This sounds like a really great episode of Dynamite. They're going to charge us $50 to watch.
So, yeah, now we're going to maybe get Copeland and Malachi Black added to this card.
Or are we going to get that on a Dynamite or Collision or fucking Rampage, all of that?
I got 21 questions. Fat Kid and Cake. Yeah, well, there you go. Adam Copeland, steel cage.
Win.
Oh, in a barbed wire steel cage, my guy.
Why not just electrocute it there and go full TNA? Go full Dixie, Tony. I still question if Tony Khan can't call himself a booker, then we needed to have it be stricken from the record that Dixie Carter and Vince Russo were not bookers as well.
Hilarious. A lot of people brought this up on Wednesday when they said there was going to be 2 people added to the Team AEW. A lot of people, including myself, I'm reading the chat and I'm like, maybe MCMG would be kind of a neat
That would have made less sense. I get the reason why people thought of it because, two, da-da-da. But having them being Team AEW, to me, makes less sense because you just got here. How the fuck are you representing the company you just signed up for?
Tony went out and bought a tag team that could take on Nick and Matthew. Right? Like Tony went out and signed these guys to bring them in to take them out.
Because FTW can't do shit. And so we're getting Harley Cameron versus Tony Storm in a grudge match on Dynamite, by the way, in case anyone was... Why is no one watching? I don't know. Like, what the fuck? I respectfully, what, why, who, when, how, Harley Cameron, just...
Why is she having a grudge?
No.
Harley. And she is having a match at the pay-per-view against Serena, correct?
Yes, Tony is having a match against Serena Deeb.
So why are all the people who are in rivalries leading to the pay-per-view fighting other people?
Because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Do you think Ty comes back when Sammy comes back? I imagine when she wants to come back, Tony will swing that door wide open for her.
Do we even think Sammy comes back?
I don't know, man. I think I really do think this has got that WCW vibe of so many people like, we'll just stay home. We're good. We're good, Tony. Just keep the checks coming.
Yeah, we're going to be on permanent maternity leave.
Yeah.
I like this Motor City looking at Jay Lethal saying, thanks, TK, but no thanks. Oh, I like this from MDB of Nick, you're already lost. Stop trying to strike things from the record. It's not over until I win.
Lady Frost getting to the row, right? He's like, I'll never give up.
Never concede defeat.
Yeah. Sorry. You can turn into the Tiger King and send all your letters and all your appeals.
I'm never going to recover from this.
You ain't going nowhere.
Oh, what the sugar honey iced tea was that? Did she just come with a straight north-south elbow off the top there?
No, but it was like a twirl.
I didn't see the twirl. I just saw came down on the crown of the fucking dome there.
Oh, but Deanna no-sells it, gets up real quick.
Face and ass suplex. Oh, that was a nice little back kick there from Lady Frost.
That's not nice. When do you guys think Jimmy comes back? Now, somebody did put in the chat that apparently there's footage going around of Jimmy showing up at a house show and getting some revenge on. But I think Jimmy's going to be out for a couple more weeks. Again, they're playing the long game with this stuff. It's over.
Gianna gets the win. Yeah, I wouldn't even, if I'm going to bring Jimmy back, you're not even doing a bump or anything like that on a house show. You're not showing up until you show up on TV.
Yeah, I agree. So I'd be a little surprised. I don't know if it's legit footage. I haven't. Here's Thunder with a chair.
And Deanna's just fucking hightailing it.
I'm out. Oh, there goes Thunder. Nope, they got her. They caught her. I think that's like the big Jack Doctor dude. Multi-job Jim.
He looks like fucking Mike Knox out there. Fucking 10:15 out there. Fucking. Oh.
See, man, if you were doing this on a Dynamite with Deanna and Thunder, this is good shit that you don't have on Dynamite. And you actually have this. You actually have security involved. This is a good segment.
Yeah, it should. Well, it's still a little awkward if you're going to do it while you're waiting until the end. But yeah, no, beyond that, 100%, this should be something that you have on primetime television, not on a throwaway late night Saturday.
A little bit, right? Like, and again, that's pro AEW, guys. Like, that legitimately is like, man, if you would take this feud and have more of it, like we just had it on Wednesday, you would increase the entertainment value of your Wednesday show. Instead of tonight where only 150,000 people are going to pay attention to it.
Right.
Damn. Come on, Tony. We're on your side, bro.
Thanks. But that's...
Oh, we're getting a rap video, by the way. I thought it was a commercial. It's a caster video.
Bro's just an edgelord, my guy, at this point, I feel. Caster, he's just gone full fucking weirdo shit with everything.
Rubbing me the wrong way. Yeah, like I even saw, did he sit down with Van Vliet? It just, there's something, I don't know. Make him a heel. Because he comes off like...
That's what they were when they started off. I think he's just one of those. He's insufferable at this point. I think,
yeah,
honestly, if I'm going based off of what I've seen of what he puts out there, if I'm Max Caster, you can sit there and say, oh, well, it's all fucking character. Cool. Well, people are going to perceive that it's not. But either way, at this point, if I'm another company, I'm not touching him.
Right.
He seems like a fucking loose cannon that's just going to say some dumb shit and constantly going to get you in trouble for saying something on TV that shouldn't be said and all of that, and has too big of an ego to be told, quit fucking up.
Yeah. Right. I mean, again, I don't. Yeah, they really, again, another hot tag team, and I said it at the time, and some people disagreed with me of when they got really hot and they were going after the belts and they didn't win them, and the fan base went nuts. Oh, I can't believe Tony didn't call an audible. How could you not do that? And then at the very next Grand Slam, they won the belts, and I said at the time it was a bad move. You disappoint the fans again. You pull them, you string them along because this group just got hot. They gave them the belts, and weeks later they were fizzled out, and now they're in a fucking former trios champion with Big Bill. Well, Billy Gunn.
Daddy ass.
Daddy ass.
I think it's just one of those of, well, we know they're going to fuck them up at some point, so let's get the most out of it while we can. Let's see them get over before they fucking ruin it.
Right. Y'all really watching this dog shit? Rick, it's a very good question. Valid, sir.
Sometimes I wonder.
Well, again, I mean, I think it's hilarious, Nick, because for all the watching we do, it really makes me laugh when somebody does come in the channel. Like, you guys just don't like AEW. Man, we watch more AEW than the diehards watch. Like, let's fucking be real. And we have the receipts for it. And it makes me laugh of like, we watch it all so we can break it down to what we see. And people still like, well, I don't watch Collision or Rampage, but all you say is bad stuff. Well, watch it. Join me. Maybe you'll agree.
That's the thing is, okay, well, there's probably a reason I'm saying these things that you think are so negative because I'm watching everything. It's called constructive fucking criticism. If you just want everything to be sunshine and roses and sit there and stay and watch, a half hour of Dynamite, cool, that's great. Don't try and talk to me about what they should do and what they shouldn't do then, because we watch every goddamn second of this.
Right. Yeah, man. That's it. Nobody does it better than KJ and Nick. There you go. Thank you, Anthony Vargas.
Well, now we need a Who Better t-shirt.
Who better? There you go. Got that one, MTP. Adorable.
I want that written down on a note, sir. I want that as the new shirt on the merch store of Who Better. Click, 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 click. Who better than Kane?
Who better?
Do you guys think the Machine Guns ever go to WWE and hold those tag titles to add to their title legacy? Honestly, shit. If I'm Motor City and hey, we got a Scorpio Sky mentioned. Speak of the devil and they show up here.
See, this is where the show baffles me. So why wouldn't you have Christopher Daniels show up on Wednesday to take on the Bucks? And Christopher Daniels comes out and says, that's right, I need a partner. And Scorpio's music hits, and he comes out, and at least you can say your OG SCU, part of it anyway, is here to take on the Bucks. And then you let the Bucks heal them out. So they actually get some heat. They fuck over some AEW OGs. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, it's like watching a kid that has all the puzzle pieces, and it's supposed to be a puzzle of a duck, and instead he makes it of just what the fuck. Like, it's just like you have the pieces, just put them to fucking get it. I like Totos. That's Tony Khan booking right there. I like Totos.
Here comes
He's just out there with a Darby face paint of I like Totos.
Stars scored 1-0 first period. There you go. That's a hell of a series. That game, the Avs in Dallas is outstanding right now.
Reminds me of the old school growing up watching when it was Madonna and Hole and all that versus Forsberg and Sakic and all that and Waugh.
Yo, if anybody wants to watch a really good documentary, you got to go watch the Joe Sakic one about when the Rangers tried to get him for $15 million. They had to raise money in Colorado so they wouldn't lose Joe Sakic. It's worth a watch.
Hey, like, there you go.
Really happened.
You ain't going nowhere.
But you just it's so fucked. Do you guys think the Machine Guns? We read that one.
Well, I was gonna say if you're Motor City and you're looking at WWE's tag division right now versus AEW's, and they just added, Gorillas of Destiny and shit like that, maybe that ain't quite so bad.
Maybe not, right? You're seeing these New Japan talents come in. And now the rumor was they've signed with AEW, but we haven't seen them. And again, it's just all fucking rumor. And I think a lot of times Dave Meltzer reports like, oh, so-and-so signed with AEW, just like hoping that WWE won't call them. That's honestly what I think his theory is. Of like, if I report that they're signed, the WWE will leave them alone. Well,
weapons of mass distraction. As speaking of that, we've got Taya and Johnny and TV out here.
Pac is a heel. Pac is in that weird in between where everyone's happy to see him, but he still is very heelish. But he's booked as a babyface.
I'm gonna fuck you up level of he's not a heel nor a babyface. He's just I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Johnny Morrison cannot get the jersey out of his belt. Like, look at botching the intro of the match.
All due respect to Taya, but what sweetheart. Let the fucking Angelica Crayola yellow hair go.
Why? I don't mind it.
She's out here looking like I'm a Barbie girl.
I don't care. Hello, Barbie.
She looks like it's fucking Play-Doh coming out of the top of her head.
Hello, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie.
Little Barbie. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
My name's Johnny. Let's go party.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, enjoy the wrestling match. Going for a ride. That was going on in his head. Well, KJ explains all of this. Wait, what? Elaborate on that one. That's exactly what I said.
That's exactly why I said it, Nick. I don't know what you said. What did he say?
Oh, I love turtles.
Oh,
a dime. I get it.
There we go. We backtracked through it. We figured it out.
So out of all the colors, Tay went with biscuit.
I told you. It's fucking Play-Doh yellow.
It's bright. It really is bright.
Shotgun. It's like golden. Stay golden, pony boy. Stay golden.
Camille signed with AEW, but then wasn't contracted for 2 months or contacted for 2 months. That's not good. She should have been. She should have debuted it already. But again, where do you debut her right now? That's the tricky part, right? Like you can't throw her at the TBS champion. You can't throw her at the world champion. So are you actually trying to figure out where to put her, or you just bring her in randomly?
Don't act like they haven't done that already of just debuting people randomly. Don't act like that's not a thing that they've already done.
Right.
Side question here. Should they have debuted Mercedes closer to Double or Nothing?
Yeah. If you
much closer, I feel like she should have debuted like last week.
Again, the horrible rush booking, because Tony's like a kid, right? Like, like every time they stumbled, they could have a whole fucking handful of shit, and the minute you show them something new, they want that. So the whole idea of sign Sasha and we'll sell out TD Garden. Well, you didn't sell out TD Garden, but you had a show a week after a pay-per-view where you could have had her at the pay-per-view to help your pay-per-view buys. But you didn't do that. Now we just sat and watched her cut shit promos that even some of the AEW faithful are like, somebody shut her up. Do not give her the mic anymore. God, we hope she can still wrestle because she can't fucking talk. That's where we've gone with this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Taz looking like Angelica's doll. Cynthia, absolutely. KJ, AW is unpredictable tonight. F Dave Meltzer, boo this man, absolutely.
Right.
Chiefs Kingdom, well, instantly piss off respectfully from a Bills fan just with Chiefs Kingdom as a name. But hey guys, thoughts on today's show? I think it's been pretty good.
I thought Collision had some good moments. Rampage is a hard pill. It's all right.
It exists. It exists.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's tough. It's just the weird little nuances that are tripping me out, right? Like, and again, Will Ospreay and Lee Moriarty wasn't a terrible match. I didn't fall asleep during it, but it's just a match that I didn't buy into, that I feel like it shouldn't be happening. So it feels awkward, but that match was good. The main event was good. The rest of the show really lacked for me. Rampage, I mean, Deanna's match was decent. That's about it.
That's the only thing I remember so far on Rampage.
Right. As we're in the last few minutes here.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, and again, it's just like, I feel like a lot of the booking and a lot of what we're getting is insulting my intelligence. And maybe that's what it is. It's a younger demographic that you can just, as long as somebody goes through a table, 5-star fucking match, or best pay-per-view ever if something crazy happens. But when you actually break down the show, like we keep saying, all the elements are there. Just if it was better, I wouldn't feel like a moron for buying into what you're presenting.
Yeah, it's short on attention span, I feel, is what this is. This is the TikTok of fucking pro wrestling here. Of you can watch it at 30 seconds a clip, but you can't watch it past that.
Right.
Regardless of what you think about them, AW needs MJF, Adam Cole, and Hangman. No one said they didn't.
Regardless of what you think about AW. Yeah, they're 100%. I mean, again, I think that only strengthens. I agree with you, Mr. Lyon. Like, they need those 3 talents, but it's what you do with those talents. Because look at the depth. MJF, Adam Cole, Hangman, Ospreay, Danielson, even Moxley to a degree. Like, you could have 2-3 fucking barn burner banger matches every Wednesday. Instead, we're getting fucking Big Bill and Jericho.
Well, AW has perfectly proven that you could have all the talent, all the top level talent, all the greatest this, all the greatest that under one roof. But if you can't execute it, if you don't have the proper landscape for them to fucking execute on, if you don't have the proper playing field, it doesn't matter what all-star team you have fucking set up.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they're a Paramount. Like, Adam Cole, now a lot of people said, well, if Adam Cole's contract came up, would he go back to Trips? Was he booked better with Trips? I don't know. Some of these guys have it really real cozy, real cushy. But if they lose too many people in their prime, if they were to lose an MJF, if they were to lose an Adam Cole, or if Adam Cole can't stay healthy, it's really going to hurt the company. We know this. Kenny, dude.
I would dare even say, Kenny would be a huge loss. I think if MJF left, that's a bigger shot than even CM Punk and Cody leaving, all of that. That's the biggest, because that's a guy that was homegrown, home built. That's a young guy too. So that's a guy that's got nothing but years to still rack up. Mm-hmm. And you lose him, that's a shot across the fucking bow.
Oh, sorry. Morrison taken out. Pac, who was distracted by Taya. That's what she's doing. She's distracting. Good heel manager. I mean, the girl's a vet, man. Like, come on. Put her back.
I'm not denying her that she's
not
great.
You.
She just
Not
looks
you.
like shit.
Not you.
I'll fight you.
Not you. I'm saying, put her back with Penta and Phoenix. Run that back. She was never with them in AEW. Go back to AAA. Go back to your.
Can't stay healthy on their own. Why you got to add more people?
Phoenix is another example of a guy just like, don't do all the things every match.
Well, I think he rushes himself back to hop back into something and then turns around and gets injured again because he was rushing back.
Roll up, roll through. Yeah, like the show baffles me. They book fucking Daniels and Zydell and then give us a Scorpio Sky package 15 minutes later. You all didn't connect that dot? I had to do that for you? Like, you didn't think, well, maybe this would work? No, Zydell. Because we all give a fuck about Zydell in 2024.
I feel like Tony Khan's really easy to beat at Connect 4.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a fucking simple game, and I feel like he can't connect dots worth of fuck.
Yeah, till he just fucking hands you the money to not win.
He just smashes it. I fucking hate this game.
Oh, shit. Taya back up on the apron, distracting. Pac's had enough. Right? Yeah. Oh, he's got her by the wrist. Oh, Johnny into Taya.
Oh, what was that bump?
Taya took all the bump.
She's Shawn Michaels the shit out of that.
Oh, and there you go. Hooks him in. Mundo fighting.
Yeah. Well, is it Mundo? Is it Nitro? Is it Morrison? Is it, TV? Is it All Elite? All of that.
Oh, he tapped. Pac not letting go. He pissed. This is for your woman.
I dare have a woman stab me.
Furthermore, why the hell is Okada getting thrown into the Elite crap? Because he's Omega's nemesis. Long game just to set up Okada. Yep. Just nonsensical. That's a tough one for me.
He's there to set up the hopeful future Okada Omega match on AEW.
We got the Bullet Club and all their belts.
The Bastard Pack.
Give me Pac, Jay White all day long. I'd watch a 7-match series of those two.
It's amazing, though, how Jay White's taken, 7 months, almost a year plus, whatever, to actually get booked halfway worth of fuck in AEW, and it took Tama Tonga 2 weeks.
And I would
just saying.
I would almost argue that Jay hasn't found that groove yet either. I think Tama Tonga's in a better place instantly.
You think still it's not even close.
Yeah, I think this whole trio shit and being caught up with the under, to me, it's not great.
You know who should be the guy that takes on Swerve at Double or Nothing? Shouldn't be fucking Christian Cage. It should be Jay White.
That would be better.
We're going to go to a connection of the Bullet Club and da-da-da-da-da, and you have a great fucking match between Jay White and Swerve,
Yeah.
and you can have that. You think that you're going to have the Gates of Agony to help back you up against the Bucks or the fucking ass boys, and they turn.
Yeah. And Jay White doesn't have to win that match. You just want a really good match because then everyone goes, oh, like it's no different than like both guys get over
and Christian just better.
What?
I said it's Christian just better.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. That's what I mean.
It's amazing how we can sit here and just bullshit and just be throwing out fucking idea after idea in 2 hours that this motherfucker pays people good money to do, or well, he probably only pays himself, let's be honest, but yeah, to come up with these ideas and just fails miserably.
We're as high as Giraffe Vijiji and we're coming up with ideas off the cuff.
We're stoned like biblical whores.
Like, let's be real. Let's be real. And again, it's just as a fan, I'm like, you're right there. Net 4 comment of the night.
It's one of those of you can see the pieces. It's like watching a kid try and put together a puzzle, and they keep trying to fucking smash the one piece that you know isn't going to connect and everything. It's like, no, you just do this and move that with that.
Right.
Ta-da!
Why they got so many belts. I thought they were going to consolidate the Ring of Honor belts and the AEW belts. They did not. So they have all the belts. And I think Jay has another belt. Does Jay have 3 belts? Or is he only rocking the 2? I don't fucking know. I can't keep track.
Right, yeah.
Maybe he got one out of the gumball machine in the arena. I have no idea. 6.5.
He bought one from the merch store.
Yeah, right. Yay, it's the Bullet Club Gold. And that's how we ended the show, by the way. Rampage went off the air with that exchange. That
with
was
Pac talking to Jay White.
On a screen. They weren't even in the fucking building. They're like, we're not going to Canada. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
We'll record. If you want to see something funny, look up the match between Dr. Death and Meltzer from UWF. Dr. Death slams the shit out of him and then shoves the dirt sheet in his mouth. Don't care to 10 knee pads. What's that?
It sounds perverted.
Okada is thrown into the elite crab because the Bucks are good wingmen, not focal points. So put Okada with them to force eyes on them. That's what I think that move was. And I know I said when it first came up, like, I don't really know what to say. But that's what it feels like. You're bringing in Okada. It's a big deal. You're setting up Kenny. But you're trying to, again, kind of like Jericho, the Bucks are trying to find better talent to prop themselves up. They've never been the main guys anywhere they went. They've always been background guys. They were always behind the Kennys, the Finns. They were always behind the AJs. They weren't there in the forefront.
The Adam Coles, the Kevin Steens, even.
Yeah.
They were 100% always the peripheral players.
They had 3 belts apiece. So what's the 3rd belt, Nick?
AEW Trios, Ring of Honor tag team. Is there a Ring of Honor Trios as well?
I thought the Kingdom was the Ring of Honor tag champ.
Fair enough. So yeah, shit. What the fuck is the 3rd belt? Anybody
know what the 3rd fucking Trios belt that they're rocking is?
We watch every second of this and still don't know. That tells you how over they can put that shit.
0 to 10. Let me see. Let me check the polls.
Fair enough. Well, we're taking this shit to the Biblics.
So let's see. I'm digging the new poll feature. Not good. Got 60% of the votes for Rampage. Average was 40. Nobody said great. There we go. That makes sense. Collision. 60% said average. 31% said not good, and 7% said great. So some people thought, Rampage was kind of great, or Collision was kind of great. But yeah, okay.
90% says Damien.
2 for Rampage. Was it that bad? Yeah, probably.
Generation Me for world champs.
Right. It'd be very interesting if MCMG actually, in fact, does not go to AEW.
It's the coup of the century. That's the thing. Is it's gonna? Well, that's in jest entirely, but it's going to be one of those that it'll be really interesting, and it'll start to be a really telling thing of, even if, say, of a Camille who's signed but hasn't debuted and everything, and then all of a sudden she turns around and you get her squaring up to Jade and Saudi, some shit like that.
Come a chameleon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, until we see them show up, we don't know. And that's what I like about wrestling right now is we don't know. I mean, we've seen weirder things happen. I still don't know. Like, if MCMG's signed, what are you waiting for? You can't figure out what to do with them? Like, what do you mean? Stick them in there. Get them in a match or two. I like them. Let them do something.
On one hand, I get it of pull the trigger when you're going to pull, like, if you're going to do it at Double or Nothing or something like that, have them come out, have them be involved or whatever. Like, I could see of at least waiting for the right time to make a debut with that.
Baby faces win because of babyface running. That's crazy.
I don't know. I wasn't even saying specifically that. Like, that was just more of just
no. But that's something they would do.
Oh yeah,
I'm not far fetched with that. Does Adam Copeland retire in WWE or AEW? I think AEW. I think he'll go back for whatever, but I think he'll retire in AEW. And he explained it eloquently, and I understand why he did what he did. I mean, he was not going to get the TV time that he's getting on AEW on WWE. And that was important to him. He wanted to contribute. He wanted to be in the ring. And whether we love or hate how much they're using him, that's what he wants. He wanted this. WWE wasn't willing to do that. That's like a third liner going to your coach and saying, I want first liner ice time. All right, bro, but we're trying to win, so no. And that was good, where Tony offered him an opportunity to wrestle a lot, and Triple H and WWE are fine with him moving on. I think that's probably where he ends it up. That maybe he comes back for a one-off or a Legends thing one day, maybe.
Is a little bit of everything that they had, or some of, I guess, what I should say, on the table for CM Punk is now just getting handed to Adam Copeland, of like all this kind of veteran time and everything like that. You can have it, Copeland, because you're the vet now here. You're the guy that can do all of this because Sting's gone, Punk's gone. Well, it's going to do it.
Right. It's a 6-man. No, we know that they got the Ring of Honor 6-man title. They have
AEW
the
6-man.
AEW trios belts. Yeah. The scissor belts, which I'm surprised they didn't change it up from the scissor belts to like the bullet belts. And is it an outlaw? Like, is it like House of Glory's trios champion that we missed or something? Like,
right, yeah. Shit. Rampage trios belt, something.
Do you want to rate the 3 hours of AEW tonight as a whole?
Sure. 3.
What are you giving it?
3 for how many hours it had. 3.
1 point per hour. I'll go a little bit higher. I'll go 5.5. Just because Collision had a couple good matches.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking the piss. I'll go right there with you. Fine, I'll stay with 3 then. Fuck you. No, I could see a 5. I could see around there. It's not going to be too far above that at all. But yeah, that's I would say, not taking the piss out of it. That's where I would say it's probably at, because there was good bits on Collision. There was stuff we liked on Rampage. It might have only been one thing, but it was a thing we liked.
True. But I mean, I give them points for the main event of Collision. I thought was fun. I loved it that the crowd was into it. I loved it that Edge had to play heel. The crowd started booing him. They were all for Kyle, so I thought that was a cool touch. I thought the Dynamite Kid match was good. Little abrupt, not really caring about it, but I thought overall the two guys really banged out. And then again, I thought the best thing of Rampage was Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. That should be a rivalry over a belt, and they should be doing this angle more on Dynamite. There should be more of these spots, not on Rampage, but on Dynamite for these two women. They are two of the best women you have, and you're booking the wrong women in the wrong spots.
You could have done that whole angle on Collision to when Thunder had a match on Collision and had a squash match, instead of waiting and doing it 40 minutes later on Rampage when Deonna had it. Yes, so that's what I was going to click on them. So we had an answer of they have both the the Pepto-Bismol, Scissor Me Daddy AEW Trios titles, and the original, the OG AEW Trios titles.
Why?
Because when you have so many belts, why not have more?
Oh, so confusing. All right, we're gonna go last call on the chat as I see things winding down a little bit. Solid 69 with us right now. That's the only explanation you're getting from me, because anymore I'm gonna get a migraine. All right, I guess we should have read the explanation. Ring of Honor Trios titles, AEW titles, acclaimed AEW. Okay, so yeah, we was. Thank you. I'm getting a migraine trying to put this all together.
Right.
Dang, Daniel Price, I learned something new. So WWE is waiting for those to clear up, or is it them trying to work around the stuff? The fuck?
Now you got to get going back into fucking foreign territory here.
Well, let's read the answer. What did Daniel say? Trying to figure out a workaround. Felonies stay on.
Oh, he's talking. I'm assuming about Jacob.
Possibly.
Yeah,
but the Usos got in. Eventually, we pardon you if you ask nicely and have a lot of money.
Yeah, but Jay and Jimmy look like they'd be nice guys. Jacob still shows up. You're like, I don't give a fuck if you're innocent. You could have never committed a crime. I'm not letting you in here, sir. You look like you're gonna fucking rip my face off, and I'm at the border. I can only imagine what you're gonna do once you get in there.
Right on through, sir. Just go ahead. No, no, just come back. Okay. See you later. Thank you.
Yeah, I forget y'all are a polite bunch. We're the aggressive ones.
You know what's funny? Because at the border, it's always easier to get in. Like for me to go to you, but it's coming back where I have the issue. It's going in. Oh, have a nice day. Coming back.
Go on, get the fuck out of here. Go ahead.
What were you doing over there? Have you been Americanized? No shit, no.
You've been radicalized. You caught the America.
Right. We're gonna have to implement a KJAO counter. I'm down with this kind of shit. Do you guys think MJF and Omega ever go to WWE? I think MJF one day will eventually be in WWE, and the man Cody MJF, blah 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 blah. Yeah. I like it all, Ridge. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Kenny would be a bit of a wow. Like to me, Kenny would be a bigger shock to me than MJF.
Fair. I'll give you that, because to me, yeah, Kenny would. I'll put it this way: if he would have a harder time, I think, being Kenny Omega in WWE versus MJF would have an easier transition being MJF in WWE.
Yeah, and I mean, Kenny's in that point where, you know, he has put miles on his body. Let's be real. The man wrestles like a maniac. And I think that to go into that, I mean, he could pull the AJ Styles where we, you know, sign with the WWE and kind of cruise into that finale, even though we're getting a better AJ right now. But I think him transitioning from like, I mean, when you're that close to Tony and you get kind of to do what you want, when you want, how you want, it's hard to give that up.
Yeah, but I don't think that he's one of those type of guys. Like he's one of those, he seems, even through his, you know, little stream vlogs and everything like that, that he seems a bit one of those guys of gets kind of pro wrestling and beyond the Tony sphere and everything. Like he even cut something earlier today or from his stream last night or whatever, talking about everybody saying, I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world. Well, you're the only one saying it, so I guess that's got to make it true, right? When I was getting called best in the world and the best bout machine, I never fucking said it.
I thought that was a really
telling me that.
Yeah, I really did think that was a really good clip. Like Kenny, again, a pretty humble guy, and it was a lot of the hate that Kenny gets is because of a guy like Meltzer, who was so tribalistic with his Kenny love.
And he even addressed that. He's like, "Go ahead, you can fill out the Meltzer formula. Go ahead, but you're only going to get love from one man, from Dave Meltzer. I got love from Dave Meltzer and from everybody else." Like, that's the thing, is I think Kenny gets it a lot better than the rest of the founders of AEW. He almost sided a bit more with Punk on the whole situation. He talked about how sometimes you just need to fucking fight it out, bro. Like, he seems like he was actually willing to reach that, you know, olive branch and, you know, try and talk this out and how can we make this work and all of that, versus the other ones are just, fuck you, he was mean. So I could see Kenny making it work. It's just the stylistically, him in WWE, I think, like you said, it reminds me of like an AJ.
Yeah, where they slow him down. Listen, you're only going to do 2 topes per match. You don't have to go through any tables every match. And once a month on a pay-per-view, yeah, then you can fuck some shit up. Like they can structure him so that maybe his career is a little bit longer. Like that's the one thing that people do have to think about as well. Even if you're an MJF or Jade, when she made the decision, you have a better chance of having a longer career in WWE than you do in AEW, just because stylistically.
Stylistically, even though they do work a more advantageous schedule and everything like that, but I don't think even like the one-winged angel would be a select finisher at times. That's more of a special thing. Like he'd be probably winning more matches with the with the V trigger in WWE.
Yeah.
Than hitting one-winged angels. Like he's not pinning Roman with a one-winged angel.
Yeah, no, right? Like, all right, then I pick you up on my shoulder. They're like, fuck, no, you're not doing all that.
No, the fuck you will not. I like my shoulders. I like them working. See this? I can do this. I like to do this afterwards too.
Yeah, that's not how we do that around here, sir. You go get your me ready because I ain't going nowhere. I like this one just because it said like Nick Wayne, and you and I laughed of like there's no way a fucking 60-minute Iron Man match, Nick Wayne and fucking Joey Janela is keeping my attention. And then I guess Janela said last night, let's run it back on AEW. If that happens, folks, something has gone seriously wrong in the company.
If that happens, that might be the second time only that we've given up on a stream. And I think both times they've involved Joey Janela.
Actually, the only time that we have bowed out on a stream.
Exactly. So it'd be 2 for 2.
Everyone's getting beat up by the Invisible Man. I'm out. Good night. Fuck this shit. But yeah, I will not sit through a 60-minute fucking Joey Janela match. Fuck that. That's too funny. Yeah, if you ever tune in and they're selling us on tonight, Nick Wayne, Joey Janela, 60 minutes to open the show on Dynamite. It's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly.
Well, so what do you guys want to talk about? Because it ain't gonna be that.
Right. I hate to say it, but I think diverticulitis may have finally made Omega start to grow up some while the Bucks are still acting like children. Fair enough. I mean, again, I think when you're faced with those moments, and for anyone out there has faced that kind of moment, it does make you reflect, and it does make you a little more humble. And I know both of us can speak from experience, and it does change your perspective. And Kenny just seems like a reasonable guy. Like, listen, I know what people can say whatever you want about him as a wrestler, as a promo, but Nick, he always seems so just like, I don't want any bullshit. I don't care who's right or wrong. Just fuck off. Like, I don't want any of it. I don't want none of it on me. Just kumbaya, everybody. Please.
100%. Well, I think it goes even back to when he was initially talking about, I think it was post Belt Collector, when he had to take time off because he was so banged up. And that's when he was initially thought of like, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm in the back nine, all of that. I think that's when he really had that kind of personal come to Jesus moment there of, all right, maybe let's drop the kiddie shit and everything a little bit here. Let's really put a fucking effort behind this instead of constantly acting like this is us on the indies. This is still us against the world shit.
Yeah. And you know what? No matter how much they say out loud, and you anticipate, like even if you're on a shitty sports team, when the interviewers put a mic in front of your face, you say all the well, we're working really hard and we're trying our best. Yeah, we're 0-44, but we're going. And I mean, so you get that, but you know that some of these athletes are very aware of, like, when they look at the shit and go, fuck, we aren't selling tickets. Fuck, nobody's tuning in. Fuck, there was another backstage incident. Like, it again, Omega's eventually going, amongst other people, to have that moment of like, fuck, what are we doing? We got to get our shit together.
You said it even right there with sports teams and everything. You see it, whether it be hockey, football, basketball, whatever. Eventually, the fucking leaders on the team start to realize when the organization's fucking up. You can say all the nice pleasantries and everything like that, But when the shit keeps happening, all right, well, I've sat there and made myself look like a dumbass protecting you now.
Yeah.
I'm done doing that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okada, listen, I got to give shout out to Jim and the boy. The Cody kills me. The Japanese Okada, the Japanese Cody Rhodes. They call him Okody, and I think it's hilarious. So
well, and now he's becoming a fan of fucking Kenny too. So
yeah,
hell's officially starting to freeze over here, folks.
There you go. The French would probably beat the shit out of the Young Bucks on site. I'll just accept that. All right. We're heading towards the
French
door.
Can't beat anybody up. Let's be honest.
Right. We're heading towards the doors, ladies and gentlemen. We'll click on the last few and then pack her in. Pause. But do you guys think that Cody Rhodes retires Randy eventually? I feel like Cody beating him one legacy ends. Put the final touches on another dream booking here, Nick, because I have an interesting feeling on this one.
Go ahead, because I'm not here of like, Rich, you out here asking the paragraph questions. We're out here towards the door, my guy. Like, I respect you, I appreciate you, but this is all some shit of like, I am far too gone here to want to sit there and pontificate and fucking think about this shit right now. Go ahead, my guy.
You ain't gotta go home, but you can't.
You can't stay here, respectfully. You make sure you hit that bell notification, all that, so you come back here. But I like my sleep.
Some of the boys are guilty. They're like, "Don't leave. We got more to say," and we love it, folks. We do.
Trust me, it's a guilty pleasure. It's a like cup runneth over. But go ahead.
Yeah, Randy could be retired by Cody one day, but I do want to see Cody. I do want to see Randy have at least one more title run. I really do.
Fair enough.
I think he's so good, man. And I think right now, since he's come back, he's in such this he's like, I know this is the twilight of my career. He's like the old man of wrestling, where once you hit that old man age where you don't give a fuck about anything, you just do what you want. That's what Randy seems to be doing. He's having a ball.
He's the fucking Larry David of pro wrestling out there. Just like he don't give a flying. It's just one of those of right now. I don't like unless he takes it off of Damian. Like, where's he getting a title win here?
I mean, at any point he could beat anybody. Like, that's the thing about Randy being Randy. But I think if he's got 2 years left to his career, within that 2 years, he could have that belt for a while. I really want it to happen. I don't know.
He's the guy that takes it off of Cody.
I'd be okay with that. And then
Fair
Cody
enough.
maybe has to. Cody has to get it back. Like, he loses it at a Rumble. Like, he wins it at like a Survivor Series and wins it back at Mania, or a Rumble in Mania. Like, that kind of just trade off. But I don't know. It's just, to me, when he retires, he's going to go down as one of my like top 5, top 4 ever. I'm such a big fan of Randy Orton. I remember when he just had the one little fucking tribal tattoo.
The Goldberg.
He's so good. Yeah, right. Everybody had that fucking shit. But again, that's my take on that.
Absolutely.
Randy is a better shape and wrestler. He said his back's doing really well. So I blame Cody for starting the beef between AEW and WWE when he came out with the sledgehammer breaking the throne. Wow.
Yeah, because there was no beef before then. They were all fucking singing Kumbaya and all that shit beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of let's say you're right. I think it's brilliant. I think that's what you do. I have no problem with the pettiness. What I think my biggest objection with the real life AEW behind the scenes is that it's a lot of like you're picking the fight and then whining when you get clapped back. And that, like, I don't mind you doing something like breaking the throne, but when there's a response, I don't want to hear you cry. Like, stop playing the victim. Like, if you're gonna scrap, you're gonna take your licks, and if you don't like it, too bad.
Little brother syndrome. That's what it is. Little brother syndrome.
Is Tony an only child? Does he have sisters, siblings? Does he have a sister? Because, hey, what's her number?
Whoa. Does she wear a neck brace too?
She will. No.
All right. On that note, before we get fucking sued by AEW or anything.
No. Just jokes.
Sure. Blow that back out like a fucking blown spot on your TV show, Tony.
Well, I mean, it runs in the family. Randy is in better shape than wrestler. Got that one. I'm gonna go watch Saw 10. All right, okay, dude. Orton is definitely not curbing his enthusiasm. There you go.
Well, no, I like this one though from James. All right, later, KJ Dick. I'm watching Booty Call. What is Tony Khan's sister? I guess.
Listen, if I can get in the family, I'm telling you what. If I could just get a little piece of that inheritance,
KJ Khan,
the wrestling company that opens against AEW is going to be better. I promise. If I could just get in the family, I promise better wrestling.
Oh my God! No, because I was about to bring up, and I swear to God, please let this be the last comment before the fucking door hits me, where the good Lord split me.
Yeah, we're just burying.
Well, no, it's one of those of, if AEW does not succeed, will there ever be another person in that position to follow suit, to try and say, well, he failed, so let me do it? That's the thing. That's why I worry the most of, like, you need to fucking work here, because there will not be another that follows behind him.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Wrestling fans, and there's such a big, wide base of wrestling fans, never say never. We've said never before. Oh, this will never come back, or, so nobody saw AEW coming. It kind of came out of left field. So, yeah, never say never, but it would be hard pressed, because even then you're instantly swinging at, like, Tony had such a gap between the past failures and his attempt that you're going to have to wait a while, because if you start talking about, oh, this new wrestling company, we've all heard it before. We've all been there before. Yeah, you're really going to have to convince us you got some good shit, because we've been burned a few times.
Right.
Thank you, Todd. But yeah, that's it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our Saturday stream. Before we get canceled, we're going to say good night. But no, we appreciate everyone being here. Remember, we are back on Monday for Raw. Then all week long, we're heading towards Double or Nothing and King and Queen of the Ring. That's a mouthful. But nonetheless, pause. We click all the links below. Be a part of the family. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Our numbers are ballooning right now, and we're about to hit 4.7K. We're heading towards that 5K. This is getting really long-winded, but thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
I was going to say, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms that watch us out there, and also all the moms that birthed all us wrestling fans and everything like that. So there you go.
And
but, yeah, I guess I get to end it on the baby face note on that. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you talk about that wrestling, you're going to put that for life with it.
Call me. See you on the flip side. Have a good night. No, honestly, call me.